Exactly 11 minutes past the hour of 2. Our Kastle 90.3 FM Kastle. If you remember more Akaba and Fambra, your number one political and current affair program in the whole central region, Memman Hodo. If you bring business Kamina Esman, Bamindami production Timase, headed by Mr. Bernard Ogo, FKK Osman, Blackus, we train out to our Facebook. Into Facebook, like the page, share. Na leave your comment na yan can inform more. Damaso and any various platforms, which are social media platforms in Nanson are very active this afternoon. YouTube, Instagram, X, Moki Kawinina, Kastle 90.3 FM, onsa bakayan www.kastlefmonline.com and also onsa bakayan elho. Yeah, this small exercise for a mobile phone called Play Store. Another app store called search engine. Na type Kastle 90.3 FM up and down. Download for to mobile phone do. Na bia no follow yani programs arowa ye ewa ha. Damaso and platforms say yede you messages. Text message and then WhatsApp message. No so active. 0244 743 143. 0244 743 143. Fafa dobra na ewiabri yenzi enkomo. Na and why a very eventful day. The presidency wakasa on Chebia 6th March reba. Na afi them a president or assure Ghanaians they obey protect the public purse. Now the 6th March activities, the national level was the Grand Star Abribia Woye and now will move to other regions. Na afi obeye ewo Jubilee House with a few people na activities in chaos the way nyinano why the special prosecutor and the day why a press conference na during the press conference why declare former finance minister Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta wanted. We declared wanted. Now there are 4 charges or say atonodo and we declare no wanted. Ewo Yebezimun komo going forward. But are you aware that the US aid, when the president of the United States of America, His Excellency Donald Trump, Obebesi Igodo, or sign or executive instrument, and one of the programs are this executive instrument or affecting a US aid. Now, US aid incorporate the effect this cancellation of this program on the African continent. Now, you're limiting it to our country, Ghana. Now, you're in health sector, in oil, agriculture, and other aspects of the economy. This US aid cuts and the Ghana economy. You take into consideration with the IMF also coming in. Now IMF in a way controlling our budgets because now they have a say in our budget. The president, Washa, the finance minister, the unclose that fiscal gap this cancellation of US aid, or the ABBA. Everybody, many yo pra, damaso na justice. And Carono movement for change on Yago cry, oh, giddy. And the Waba Ebezin Como for the first 1 hour, Ebezin Como. On H, Mabu Gofo and Kenoso, the political actors, Oba Betinasi. Na yahwe the other side of issues and the it be a revocation of all public service appointments after 7th December elections. Chief of Staff was the communique Abba. Now Minority Caucus also will condemn discontinuation of several high profile criminal cases. This government, the Attorney General, was showing in office. One cherubia in a certain cases or involve or certain personalities. It be a or opuni the current finance minister. Those cases in Yinano will withdraw a free or a court. The National President will inaugurate or a 19-member 120-day contract task force. Now the task force see or better than what are their mandates and what are they in to do? You can incomo biwa and they are brave, you busy. Only men you can say free. You are also part of the conversation. Into more messages in number 0244 743 143 0244 743 143. Na inzi inkomo ewa. Hey Justice.
Come now.
Afichaba.
I think calling some sign you.
Yes. I feel say that in the movement for change which na one adum wa kekanya mesisi ni.
I feel say na Ghana konen say ni hwehwe.
Aha.
Yes,
yes.
Say the last time I'm back na election time.
So somewhere last year.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Ebenezer de nyame dia bedru nie. Said the mekan no. Abatoɔ was all about getting Ghana to work for us. Nti na ya adwen kyerɛ na yɛ nyina yɛ kyerɛkyerɛ ya adwen. Nti yɛn de sambre no. Yɛ kan in stem esin tam said mpanyimfo kan no sɛ Ghana beko ya nka yɛma ɛyɛ independent person may the president of Ghana.
Okay.
And yɛn na gya hu yɛ sɛ ne yɛgyina movement for change. Yɛwie yɛ no ebi mu busa what is the future for movement for change ne nasefo. But said yɛ kan yɛ no it was just for the elections. And nyame ayɛ adom yɛwie Ghana for akasa ɔma kyerɛ ne yɛ sɛ ɔyɛ ɔmampanyi. Enti eja etu akɔtwere de atwe. But Ghana must move forward. Enti said be ya ɔman no bɛkɔ n'anim nti no. Yɛyɛ ntimamufo de bibi biara a sɛ nyinaa yɛyɛ de boa. Ɛma Ghana fa no ntoma pɛfrɛ bia no yɛbɛyɛ. Nti yɛbɛkɔ so asom yɛ my Ghana.
Yeah, that's it. Yo.
Sina.
Easy o. Akaba.
Yenya
nyame hene wa
eshi a check aka
yes
kamna yenchi etiefu na dem ade bia meka nyame na ohwe impanti oguda ohwe ne kaka ba kamna it is worrying there up to now water situation yentumi nya any answers to the problems are all central region specifically yenya Cape Coast impo yenka Cape Coast asam all these things, or affect the general productivity of the country. Since you can say, already we are struggling to meet our revenue target, or to balance our books, if you like. And cholera and so, just about 2 days ago, we heard that figures in around 69 in the region, but now we are hearing it's over 400.
Wow.
In Chile, the central region is really suffering. And if you don't take care, I am painful, years in Chini, years in Mokokakra. If you don't take care of Mwaframano, now we're at risk already, just as introduced to program, grant being a support being as well, that goes into the health sector. Is yen beam. So that's going to put a strain on the health sector. And or there immediately Ghana Water Company, or the Obaka BB chain. At least yen bisa kasibia, as I be signed there, if one man timetable, let us know that in the Kokwado for Benyan Sunday, a China, Yana has Benyan. So that's all we need. So that you are prepared. Because if they don't have the capacity to produce as much water, them will produce, we can accept that. But maybe saying there, one man be who there in the Benyan, so in the Yadan watchmen no come now. 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. near soon here channel. Now and past 6 a.m. so by 7 or day so Uncle wage more on Tassi. So it's a big challenge. Why is it that in the central region and Cape Coast one can be behind chain? But the same problem occurred in the Volta region. It has been fixed. Last year, the same challenge occurred in the Ashanti region. PURC immediately They were on the matter. They issued a directive to Ghana Water Company. The challenge was fixed. But Central Region, is it the case that there's an agenda against Central Region? Is it the case that there's an agenda against Central Region? Come now, in Central Region and Ashanti Region, and you find a galamsey pa. It's not in Ashanti Region. But one point challenge with Watermpo, it has been fixed. Why the Central Region easy? Obia and Tumo Bia on Kanchen. No timetable, no directive by the PURC, nothing. What is it? What has Central Region done?
Seeking information in Kramponi.
It's a big challenge.
A challenge. Oh.
They are speaking with other media houses outside of the region. Yes. But in your region, they're always busy. They're always busy. We are talking about water. At least we have been made to understand that water is life. So now that they are denying us water to some extent, do they expect us to die? And I'm always worried because I'm a mafraba of fear. I know how to take care of the child. But we know the challenges with what? Water and sanitation hygiene. In schools, from over 1,000, 2,000, they use 2 washrooms. In Singapore, so okay, we are necessarily if we are not taste, but cholera is also in the outbreak. At the end of the month, how much do we even earn? So the challenge is, all we are asking is that Ghana Water Company, 1 man timetable. That's all we are asking for. That's all we are asking for. And if they don't take care, some of us will take legal actions against them. Because it's really getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. And this is a wake-up call to the people of Cape Coast. This is a wake-up call to the people of Cape Coast. Ghana Water Company's district in Cape Coast, they should let us know what is happening. You hear answers. Speak to us. After all, Ghana for it's by some opportunity being away more. They should not act as though they are superior to all of us. We are all Ghanaians. Come now, it's a big worry.
It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. Some of us will say, "Yes, sorry, yen nsu." At the time I hear the big man, yen nsu, ebububi, and ebenye bimpo. Now, so every fear that my time in able to have before 4. I say, "What program I see." And it's quite.
I watchmen. I don't watchmen.
Yeah.
What is it? 3 days unsumbada, 5 days unsumbada. You don't know when unsumbaba. Any time unsumbaba many.
Oh man, we going to fear be.
And now obimuli a business be in terms of what produce water into. I mean that's why I operate on business obumana. Ghana Water Company. Nipa bi mo ha why a business it operate on business boom. That's why I watch here and that's why now. Give us answers. If these are not true, come and give us answers. Come, it's serious.
It's serious. All right, Ebusia, it's once able to join the conversation. For all messages in the 0244743143 0244743143. Now, the fiscal gap this afternoon we are talking about. It's about $156 million. That's the fiscal gap. What about the economy though? And areas CBR are affecting IBA health. And some of the programs are the issue we are talking about is maternal health, HIV/AIDS, family planning, childbirth, and other related health issues. And this aid or cover and other aspects of the economy. How do we, as a nation, close that gap? Taking into consideration the effect of IMF and then the effect of IMF on our physical discipline. Joel.
Governor, question here. It's a pregnant question. Just to put matters in proper perspective. Ghana, every time we are drawing budget, we have had what we call budget deficit. Ninche mind there, you spend more than sky in the century busumbia would call for 500 cities. Must spend 600 cities. They be a 100 cities the minimum. That's the problem of Ghana. Every time we are what we call a budget deficit. Now, if say a airbobra na say ebo brother ma every time you have a challenge. The reason why I been there, yen debt no, it is always ballooning extra norco. In fact, in 2023, if you read the budget, 2023 budget, and you read the 2024 budget, one of the reasons why the finance minister then, especially in the 2023 budget, okay, there our debt is increasing, no, is because of interest payment. What do we mean by interest payments? Jade bosa ya kobono, insiwa osihuno, odosu na sura asuna orko. So that was one of the reasons why na yen ekono esra na orko no. Sisi akwam na se kano koracha yen ho because penfusi yen kano kwanche danfo no me on say danfo. Ye kano koracha yen we are in a very critical serious financial situation. Because if for nothing at all, was it in 2022 or so when you started the domestic debt exchange program, right? I stand for either 2022 or 2023. And that alone has put Ghana in a very, very tight condition. Look, just not too long ago, the new Minister for Finance, they have reached a certain agreement with IMF. We know that about just 3 or 4 days ago, they are told that the IMF is going to be in town, So we are trying our possible best. But the truth is that, Ghanaians, we should tighten our belt because things are going to get a bit tough before they get easier for all of us. I remember that sometime in 2023, I was granting an interview and I said that in the interim, a Juma agreement IMF na yakono. In the short term, we are going to suffer, but in the long term, it's going to help all of us. We had an agreement with IMF when 2022, 2023. So we have done just about 2 years, entering the 3rd year, So in the short term, the IMF is helping us to streamline some of the activities, especially coming up. Say a bit of economics and finance. You get to understand that, and this is knowledge. I mean, we all know in Yede and Sane say a pede you either increase sika enya, i.e., get a lot more jobs. Tina kwa brochira wasi bilimi yejume bien ebasa and then ansana we tumo survival. And also there a kawa ebo ana a kona efa do spend those kanu reduce those two. These are the two options that we are left with as a country. But let me be quick to also state that what is happening in the US, it has an effect on the whole of the country. And if you've been reading that South Africa is complaining because they have the highest population of HIV/AIDS, patients, and part of their money that USAID, brings to Africa, goes to South Africa to help them in the fight against HIV. So South Africa is complaining. If you go to Southern Asia, they are also complaining, So the whole world all over, one action by the United States president, is affecting everybody. So it is not only Ghana. But we can't cry for others. What's our challenge? But look, in 2023 alone, and because of some challenges in I wanted to go through the budget for 2023 and 2024, but unfortunately I didn't get enough time to do that. But you know that in 2023 alone, yen budget deficit was around 61,475 Ghana cedi. Look, the United States Agency for International Development, we are told that they signed an agreement with Ghana in 2024 that they are going to specifically help our health sector with about $18.8 million. Already, if we estimate amount the USAID was about in terms of grant and support for us, we are told that it is around $150 million. So computatively, we are looking at around $168 million. We are going to need, in the interim while we draw the amount of money I was support here. How do we make up for all of that? We will need a combination of factors or things to do able to bridge that gap. His Excellency the President John Mahama has given the indication and directive to the finance minister that he should look at ways to do that. So I'm sure, government is thinking about how to bridge that gap, but it's going to be a very, very, very big challenge. That is why I know, or they ready there. There are certain tough decisions that government is going to take. It may affect you and I, but but it raises a lot of questions that what has leadership of this country been doing over time? Because the topic now is, you ask that is it time to go back to the Ghana Beyond Aid Charter now? Look, yes, it is time. In fact, it's past time to go with the Ghana Beyond Aid Charter. Remember that foreign grants alone, support our budget a lot of time. This is a draw budget now. Every time we have a deficit, in 2023 was 7.7% of our GDP. In 2024, it reduced to about 4% of our GDP. So you say that we are doing something better in terms of bridging the gap. You know that the Public Financial Management Act says that was passed somewhere in 2019 but suspended in 2020, says that we should not spend beyond 5% of our GDP, right? But already every year we are exceeding that 5% of our GDP, except the 2020 that it was suspended. So we have a problem with expenditure in this country. Come now, I remember that sometime in 2021 or so, we were told by the Auditor General's report that we lost about $12 million or so to corruption alone. So it means that if you to me block the loopholes in corruption alone, we can raise enough money that will cater for this, not just for this year, but the years ahead of us. So if we are looking at how we are going to face this challenge head on, one of the ways we can do that in the long term, not the short term, because immediately we cannot block all the corrupt loopholes. We cannot fish out all the corrupt individuals or engagement, but we can do at least 25% of that. 25% of that, if my mathematics is right, that will be about $3 million or so. If we get $3 million, that is way more than the amount of money that will help in the fight against to bridge the gap of this $156 million. So it means that in the area of corruption alone, that's one area able to be used to solve this challenge. You and I have been told that His Excellency the President has said that there should be an investigation into the National Service, scheme, So it means that we have a challenge. The challenge is that two ways able to solve the problem: increase revenue. Why? Since the last years of His Excellency the former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the GRA came out to tell us that they are exceeded.
So, increasing revenue, we are talking about taxes here.
Not okay. Necessarily taxes. We are saying that yan iska yenyano that could mean that maybe or has kebi kukokwa yetum yesiwana, that money remains in the government kitty. That could mean that allowances and salaries, we have to look at it. So the money also remains in the government kitty. So it is not necessarily about increasing taxes, but it's one of the ways. It's one of the ways we can go, which is why some people have called for the betting tax next year be cancelled. We should not scrap it, but rather redirect it into some judicious use. And I think that given the exigencies of the times we are in, I know that promises are making during the campaign, but given the exigencies of the time, we should begin to consider that. Come now, we have always said that about 11% of Ghana's population will pay taxes. So we need to expand that tax bracket to about 18%, or we can even do more. So one of the other ways we can, reduce this burden is that we can expand the tax bracket. How do we expand the tax bracket?
So hold on with that. Now, Menko Eja Justice do Embra. Now, how we going to widen our tax net, because now we have a problem as a nation that help to solve this nation. We're talking about a gap, a fiscal gap of $156 million. That's a fiscal gap, as is Ababado. Yes. Do we always need this aid? Yenya, it means I quite know obia cough in the Yenyan code.
Come now. Miss Amfa Quenya is na mencheti for amutie Kastle Sabri. No kwasem ne todan so ya rehosem. Say Ghana, yedin fi say
68. 68 will be this year.
Na wa susu say wo ye abofra. Me say you stages in life. Ya omra ye be wo nge ubi ne be susu mu ama wanyini. Wonyini nipa no ne be hwa ama wo se afi. At a certain stage, wo su be kwa akoye adwuma, wenya sika. Nipa na ohwe wo ye say no no na ho odin be kofom. Esa won so be de obehwe say nipa kro no nanso eno na kire say nipa ne bobra obra na konanim. We see as a country da bia ebusa ye ho say enkosi dabai ena ye be koso akọ afoforo ho akọji wo mo nso wo taxes ana wo sika wo twetwe ade bo o man ho bra no akọye lala sulala age e dia baye di ma dia be hwe ye ho enkosi dabai say ye nyina ya ma ye ni ama ye ho so we just US we Pharaoh bi oba ya onim eye Joseph and ono di we buy the next time no ye nim near France for onso beka ye nim the German for onso beka
UK
ye nim the UK so beka enti we a wake up call to Africans say ye nyina ya nsori abibiman for ya nsori na yensu yan kase ye boy embra wa bra ye mfa ye ho nkoto afoforo so otia ebeduru mre bi no ebedi ye dokono kwa yinya makunka ho say after 68 years na ye daso edwen kwan a say afibia ye bebo ye man no ho bra sika ye de bebo man no ho bra no ye sheda wo certain percentage a sse free amanone afoforo ho de ba ansa na yetimi aye nhyehyeye akase ampa ye man ne betimi abo ho bra ko ewie dia na obusa se dabai enkosi dabai na sa de na no betwa omampanyin fofora waba kunya so in less than 2 months ena eye assembly say ahete no every say omampanyin a ono wo USA emre dru say emwa bi ye say emwa bi a efiri omo mu pem omo de boa yen abibifo no sabre watwam nti yenso ya yenhwe kwan ye befa so a ye bebo ye ho bra na ebadai ne kosi bebie sabie he sat down and said abibifo ye tirim ye dedodo abibifo ye pese bibia no afoforo na dwene maye abibifo wo niema bebre enso enam se omo nyinka bomunti no da bia no yedeme yonko na da bia ye hwe ma afoforo e de niema eye oman mu ni nyina dia no na nipa kakra bi afa adia esese ye na ye bia ye ton ma ye ho 1 cedi no na ya ton ne dia atwamene saa esu ni ban we ya amene abibifo no ena omampanyin no se ono hwe ye US mampanyin so hwe niema ekoso wo ye man mu a anase bibiri man ni mu a ontina ho emesesa no ni sika nsam fambre ye biem se yemfa mu bra nti wona o mawiewia ye sika no ye ya yenkwaji ye sika ne yemfanye se dru se ye nhyehyeye a ye nhyehyeye a edem faso bebre ye man ma ye nhyehyeye a edem faso bebre ye political party anase yankasa ye ho se yan sorry na se yan boye man ne ho bra enye omo na ebebo sa bra na maye na we say nya ne bone so eye edru mra say people should look into our eyes and tell us the truth say ya hye ye ho bone dodo edru mra
ya hye ye ho bone yetimi ye yenda
yes edru mra say amanfo hwe yi no mo ka no kra kire ye say enam say da bia amanfo potoma ye num ni ntino ye nya ya dwene se ye bebobra na ka ye hwe aman a esesa amanfo ko mo ho kwaji sika ekoje mo afiri ho a enka ye in the Western world. One when I say depending on mo yonko. E den ade e na obo ade a obo wiase ni asase. One fan nom ebibi man. E de sika ban ni ye ni bie. Nsase ban ni ye ni bie. E de ade na wo hwehwe wo wiase mu ase ebetimi amabra ama asetena ma ye ama wa ebibre mu ha wo de wani to a onya bi. Nanso pesemin kuminya abro be yie pesemin kuminya ntino de bia na bibifo ya yemre de bia na bibifo ye koyechi de bia na bibifo ye sada ye sayem ye lalasulala e wa amanfo a omumom ba ye nchen e be fa ye fom agudie ni ye nyansa de ko omo ho e ko dane omo niema na omo de aye omo kuma yie de bia na ye ko omo akwakosre enti nye bibini mmobo. Say upon all these years, ye tum say ye nya ye fa ahudie. Enti sa bre die ye ya de ye ho. Nanso besi sa bre bibia gese yakọ amanfo ho akoye lala sulala ansane. Na ye fa ahudie ne gina de so. Fa ahudie na ye se ye won ne fa pem ne de. A wake up call, and to narrow it down to ye bibimu aye Ghana no. Say ohwe ye krata omampanyi ediba abontin ye ndra. And kasama for ye Felix Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu de ba abontin my we say the gap difference na Ghana de bia is estimated about $156 million. And na ohwe ye US aid one of the boy na that gap difference no essentially the finance minister pe kwan obefa so bit me bridge the gap no. Out of this no about 78.2 million is estimated say and share very critical situations of our economy. We share say predominantly health ne a play a key role because or share nema obobo so say family planning nyina ka ho bi. Kwamina family planning nyina ka ho bi. Say say bema ye fe kwan ye befa so a ye ya wo a ye wo ye betitintem
ne nyina so no obi discabo so na san
and san na yetimi ayes kamna edi etrimo de na abefa ye as a people oka kwan ye befa so a etridie yare malaria ye besi ano kwan. I just say US for na diska ba be boy and san ye yetimi asori ehunu say me dan ho afu esese me do me dan nsuo ma ne tata me bia mta bia ebebridi mosquitoes amoma ba ba wemi de etridie yare aba ni nyina just obi efri ni krosu edisika breye and san yetimi ayesan hihye yewe oka kan kosi child health kwanya ye befa so a ye mofra ye wo mo evi wo madi DSM odi wani kire ye ni titiru ye northern part of Ghana child malnutrition ade a ekun affect your man for hopa eti bibia na chance abrofu na di nnuane ni food supplement ni niema ediba na nkora iko weyin a ya ma mu bibi kakra munje munkodi na momfanya body we num nyina ya dia se ne abrofu isi omo jai sika omo de breye ma ye de ayesa ade na obi busa se ye bewu ana ti sie ya me no kase se edru se etridie yare de twame awo HIV so ka ho bi nduru aye nua no manya HIV omonnom nyina no se nduru ni nyina eye amanfo sika na ye de to na ye de brey ansa na yetimi ano sa de ni nyina no dedi kan media meka se aba at a time ye nkasa ye economy na nkasa no enye strong dada enti ya se ye what bia bi mu sei na abrofo yin so ase jeja ye esutis sabri mra enka samre na nka ye be pesa moa no kese se nka be dosun kusi se ye betimi a left ye economy no every this post covid situations si mu ama ɔman no yakasa mpa yɛ man no gyina ne nan so ama yɛsi kasa ma gyina yɛ nan so but ɔmo na di ɔmo ho ɔmo na di ɔmo sika ba deɛ adeɛ wɔ no ɛna ɔyɛ dɛ ɔgyeɛ ɛna adeɛ no nso yɛ ne deɛ ɔka so ɔmfa ma wa woni hwee a ɔbɛka so ɔmo si saa bere adeɛ ɔmo de brɛ yɛ no ɔmo mfa ma yɛ bi ma ɛdɛn na ɛsɛ sɛ yɛyɛ astemaamufoɔ ɛma yɛ ankasa yɛtumi boa ɛma yɛ asetena mu kɔ yie adeɛ bi wɔ hɔ adeɛ bi a meka sɛ ɛnyɛ aban asɛdeɛ sɛ mmea nkasa mete hɔ na mmea mehu sɛ maso fie so ɛsɛ sɛ meware mmea mehwɛ adwuma a meyɛ a sɛ makɔfa me yere a mehwɛ no na sɛ me ne me yere ɔbaa ne okunu mu nyinaa mo aka mo sika bo mo hwɛ mo ho mo a mo decide sɛ akora baako bɛka ho a yɛn ne yɛbɛtumi aboa ama saa abɔfra no yɛtumi ahwɛ ne yie mienu ne yɛbɛtumi awo yɛsi kasɛm bɛtumi ahwɛ ne yie yɛsi o da bi yɛnyɛ saa deɛ no yɛbɛduru mmerɛ bi a yɛ time biara yɛbɛda biara na yɛbɛwo time biara yɛbɛda biara yɛbɛwo saa na ayɛ twoo ka na agye sɛ obi ɛde sika brɛ yɛn ɛnyɛ saa yɛ man yɛntimi nhwɛ wɔ mo yɛyɛ yɛte hɔ sɛ astemaamufoɔ yɛte hɔ efin ɛna ɛmene yɛn woa baabi a wɔteɛ wo gata mu nyinaa yɛ choked wonum nsuo a bibini na wɔagya ato gata mu choke gata no nsuo tɔ a nsuo no ntimi nkɔ biem na nsuo no aba abɛgyina hɔ afei na bleed mosquitoes yi bɛyɛ a afei na ɔmo ba abɛhwe yɛn yɛse gye sɛ no ɔkɔbrane akɔ sika de abrɛ yɛn na yɛtumi abɛyɛ atotɔ mosquito nets yɛakyekyɛ ayɛyɛ ne nneɛma a yɛbɛfa so yɛbɛsi yɛtiri de yare yɛn ti bɛn mu mebusa me ho sɛ kɔɔ bibini dɛn na ha yɛn sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛ
but I don't think China need US aid for birth control. China on here US aid for birth control. Right. So if China here any aid on that aspect, why is it that in Yana we have these natural resources? You want the capacity to manage our own affairs. Also, there will be this car, even to control childbirth. We are not thinking right as a continent. Mm-hmm. We are not thinking right as a nation. Another, ibinum one parochial interest into the resources of the citizenry, individual. It seems to accumulate more at the expense of the nation. Anna, Joel.
Yeah, Kwamna, I think that first of all, no. Say common years are in you know the world has become balmy. It's like what you usually say a global village.
Yeah.
And we are interconnected and we are interdependent. If I think they be in common why there we have all the natural resources.
Yes. But we also need somebody.
Of course.
Yeah.
You cannot develop with only the natural resources. Mm-hmm. So we would definitely need them. Yeah. Every country has gone through these processes.
But engine to me there, if we had managed ours well, then Ibinumpa won't be the later when they are managing it well to develop their country.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that today we have a Ghana problem, no? Or a thinking problem, Ghana problem or a thinking problem. But I think that in this current timing, common is, if we expand it to the general or generic Ghana's problem, we will miss the point. Because there is a challenger or they address that challenge immediately. Else, the effect, don't forget that, look, just about last week or so, we are hearing that one MD of one company in Ghana, state-owned enterprise, takes home about 70,000.
SIC.
That is one. How about all the others? So, in finding a solution to this, we will come to the conversation about what we need to do generally. But in finding a solution to this, I propose that one of the ways we can go, and that's a huge sum of money, $156 million, a huge sum of money. One of the ways we can do this is that all heads of state-owned enterprises, already very few of them make profit. So if for nothing at all, before you take the job, 40% of your salary, agree that, or of your emoluments rather, not just your salary plus your allowances and all of that, agree that you cede 40% to government. we heard that the past government did 30% of their salary. But salary in Ankotin is something very small. But usually the allowances in the Kawa, it makes it very huge. So I am proposing that, government top officials, those who have been appointed into political positions, all of them should cede about 40% of their emoluments to government and say that the whole, yes, this is our contribution to filling it. That's one way we can go. And there is something that is going on. You know that MPs in Parliament this year, they are talking about their pensions. How are Obenya pensions? But they want to use a certain money to go and build a pension scheme for themselves. It is called the Ghana Carbon Credit. It is called the Ghana Carbon Credit Revenue. Last year alone, we are told that Ghana recouped about $500 million from that Ghana Carbon Credit Revenue alone. So, if for nothing at all, we don't need to look left or look right. We know that we are sitting on a certain $500 million in 2024 alone. If you take $156 million out of that, we solve our problem. So I am also proposing that if the finance minister is listening, one of the places is a carbon credit revenue. Instead of some members of parliament and use that money to create a pension for themselves, which benefits just the 200 few of them, we can take $156 million out of that to benefit all of that. We just solve our problem. So there are ways we can solve this problem, and even in moving forward, even create buffers for ourselves. For instance, we are today, His Excellency the President John Mahama. Also, we are going to do a constitutional review. Prior to become a president, he will look at the revocation of Article 71 of the Constitution. If we revocate that alone, I've already told you that in economics, you either increase your revenue or you reduce your expenditure. If Article 71 we have reduced our expenditure, our revenue can even stay the same, but yet it means that we are getting more in our kitty. You get the point. So there are ways we can go about this thing. Yesterday, we saw the Council of State. Look at the amount of money that goes to pay people to advise our government. That is not mandatory. What's the one for advice government? But advice was about advice. For them advice. But we are giving them huge sums of money. Why are we doing this to ourselves? So I think that there are immediately ways we can use to get that much amount of money. For me, I don't want to go into the Ghana Beyond Aid conversation. You know why? Because we did not say Ghana without aid, though. We said Ghana Beyond Aid. It means that still we want to rely on aid, but not as much as we do in recent times. In 2018, when His Excellency spoke about this, we were told that Ghana's aid in Kutio, not granting. Grant is aid in Kuti was just about 3.2% of our total GDP. In 2019, we were told it's about 3.1% of our total GDP. That is still a huge amount of money. And one woman aid in there is JICA, there is POPFA, there is USAID itself, the IMF, the World Bank, and all of that. If they all decide that, so they are not going to help Ghana again, it will give us a big challenge. So this is a good opportunity for us to think beyond USAID. Who knows the next step Donald Trump is going to take?
From the trend that Donald Trump already free, do you foresee that in the near future, other aid agencies will also withdraw their aid?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
You see, I think that what Donald Trump is trying to do is, to a large extent, teach us a lesson. And my culture is not only about Africa. Oh, the whole world. I mean, Mexico, is complaining. If you go to Asia, the likes of Afghanistan and all those war-torn countries, they will also be affected hugely. Why? Because if you go there, female journalism or low, so a lot of money go there to get a lot of female to go into journalism. But from one school then was say and all of that, a lot of money go into it to do what is called secret education there. So all of them are complaining, not just Africa. But it is worse that if you go to Europe, for instance, you can take a train from one country to the other country. But Africa, that is interconnected, sometimes speaks a common language and all of that, cannot do that. But I'm saying that, look, if we talk about this in the generic or the general conversation of Ghanaian problem, we will not be able to solve this. You have solutions now. And what are the solutions? Let's see, last year alone, we had $500 million. This year, we need 156, according to Lieutenant Ozben. You have $500 million. It means that if we rely on our carbon credit revenue, we can just pluck some 156 out of that.
This conversation and about it wouldn't be a problem for this country.
Not at all.
We are sitting on the money.
Not at all.
Okay.
So we are crying too much. We have solutions there we can just look at and then able to solve your problem straightforward.
Yes, John, before I only be no far about widening our tax net. Now, we have a fund there. Ibn Powari Prede, what the one pension scheme. We have these monies, and then every year, auditors general reports. We cannot even retrieve. Talking about corruption issues, how do we solve another? Yes, Sudan. Sonia, pierce Kogumsu only win without any benefit. How do we solve it?
To this, no. You want a short term and a long term. What he is proposing now might be a short term solution. But going forward, this is where I differ from his assertion.
Yeah.
I think, say, more of these aids going forward, people will decide not to give us again. I don't see this as the first, as the last one. More will follow. Because once Donald Trump had taken this decision, it will compel others to also, just as he said, we live intercontinental. We depend on each other. So once you decide you won't do this, the other person also, okay, you also need this. Then me too, I won't do that. That kind of situation is bound to happen going forward. But I want to still hammer on the fact, say, we will look at the short term. The short term is, as a country, we have all decided, say, yet isikaso and so commodity as a country. Then you say me kind pesemin kuminyani e mim ados wo maimu. Bibia na ye politics. Sika eyo maimu ne dia ba akofo afa. Yen kwaji sika ne mra, wo bi tinchen. Wo sika no ho wakora wa mobi onka ho wa ni bi ba wa sori kuntoka din say nipa na amfa aboa adenti a o say oye ne party ba esese obo ne ho ban sa esu ne ban no se mfiri ye mu a ye krono e de krono amanfo ba bia mbewia hwe aban a oba foforo oba ya wo say wa hunu se nkrofo bi asesa oman na japade atonton amom ho asase esese ye de 3 million ba ko for say fa me de ama 100 cedis fa ko wo ye me party benti be fa ko wotena wo no wo sa ne ma we nyina no e yade a aba oman ni dream say yetimi ton asase no ebu esese ye de ton a oman ni benya sika am yetimi de aye ne ma we aye kanyina it is hard de tie dia ma identify sa ne ma we nyina the estimated amount I see ye nyina ye kan ho bom a ebetimi a recover sa sika we si yen setimi sa e ka sa sika na omo se wa amanfo na ebetimi asolve sa issue but then e ko see aban a ono aba ono se amanfo asese amanfo ajapade enti esese ye gigi ni nya sika film that's on that same note na nkasa no ono so decide say nkrofo a ye se omo nso aba oman no dream ama oman ni sika bia free yensa ye de omu gina eye asemdibia ehwe kwan ye beje sa sika na ba no obaye no onani nje sa nhwehwemu ni mu biem obaye na ade na beye metwetwam mu nyina mu nko ye mintimi ndi case ways what is ade we sha sia now your fight against corruption abeye issue because in the first place I think say who decide say obi afa ade even po na say yaye nhwehwemu kunu say wo amfa it is too early say ube wura mu na o si case we me interested biem case we me interest and on the other hand where there me interested munko jimra where there afa munko jimra we yes people will look at it say a political hand because omo nya o party fo ni ntino e na wo hanti omo so omo ye o party fo a wo buy enka wo de hwe mre mpo na hwehwe mu bi o si there be you are not interested what trust say mu say ye di sa esu ni sa line we ni ye di bebu ye man yi dia sa pure partisan way of governing our country no efa ye nko ba bia da bia nkrofo be ba oman yi mu a omo be fa oman ni sika because at the end of the day no omo be fa ways and means a omo party betwitwaje wo mo enti se ye nyina ye sika na ye nyina ye dia no se ye hu se obi afa ye nyina ye mfa ya hoodin mum na ye nka se enough is enough. I've always said and I always say it say under no circumstance and I mean me sorry about di wachi say uye mebusuani wafa aban sika akọ yen bibi na ye say yenkwaji a na ma ye hashtag save this person. I will never do that. Say ugidi se wamfa omra no eni wuni emra no kọ ne hwehwem no wanya emra na jawo ba say bibia na ati ekuo pressure group yemfa nkwaji amanfo we pressure group yemfa nye say no edi oman ni dream na eno ka ho bi ena oman ni sika sese yenya no yentimi nya de toso mienu sika yenwia no mu nyina susu se eyo oman nyina ye sika ye nyina ye di bu oman no emre duru se etoda sika ne adodode a ekọ ne titiro amanyofo no ho no ye tete so ye hu aban we wo se wa sha ase omfa eye nipa choka bebrebia emfa megu amamunti ni ministers wa fa 60 pe o say to help cut a cost in a 6 March no omfa me yes yen rotate from one region to the other say ye be bi kakra bi ojub. These are some of the measures I have, but and so baby bia of say yes say sika edi ye niema bia emfa mfaso kase embre o man no emre du say yenso ye be hwe ye ho say we asere wa ye buo sitie ne ya nwene ye ho because omo ye ko omo nchen kora kwaji sika no omo nsai sika se de ye ya kwaji ye ba ne ye di sika ye akesesem nipa no be wura aban mu 2 days pe opese obra bia wo wiasem bia obo obra man for the 100 years abo no 4 years pe onu ko wura aban mu no opese o live that kind of lifestyle. These are some of the things so as a bind na ni be kun na pointies no so no what put checks proper checks to them sika or the be yes some of these near my SCC obetimi anya bi but in the long run no there may can say ye more modern says some of these near me ye kofaba malaria kwan best ni besi malaria kwan malaria beba ye nkasa yesu say bibia nchen say masore madome kwan so bibia nchen say ade e masa ayare ne bad ye itimamufo ye nim no yesi hu kwan says yetimi si hu kwan a aban hia say obekọ akọfa sika akọpẹ saa ne ma no de aba ansa na yetimi aboye ho bra say me ne wo aso ya dwere bo ne ye decide say ye be ware enti ye ware a ye be wo a ye hu kwan ye be faso a ye be hu si ye betete ye mantam ama ye ankasa ya setena mu ayeye ama ye ehun hia say ye nyina ye sade sa wo ha no kwa akoto aban no so some of these things no in the long term no ye hu say ye nyini ko ye nim no yanso ye hu astemam fo kwan ye be faso a ye be boye ho ne ya nwini ye bu se de ye hu sitie na ya mfa o ha kese ne ye ne ambre o man no.
All right. Ebusen your reason come and in comma your reason is about the president of the United States of America or cut aid to Ghana and other parts of Africa and then other parts of the world. Ghana, we are talking about 100 and something million US dollars. We are going to lose that money. Now, sikano ombade on share economy na keke or specific areas bia what do you say? But that leads me to my next question. Whereas yawo ahana COVID by hitting on our way. But during the COVID era, Ajenobede yenya Vaccine Institute. Yentum enankasa yen develop vaccines bi obotum aba. Is it about time going forward the long term your region as a nation you implement certain policies you implement in maybe you think about we are putting in place certain institute like Vaccine Institute to cater for meaning the malaria we need somebody to fund for our malaria situations and
yeah Kamala, you bring vaccine there you hit the nail right on top of the head. I think that senior brother in common is one task one to massacre crown there. I'm saying that CCR in here SKB as our bon bra.
There is a problem and we need
so let's focus
solution.
on finding the solution today. Then we can have the conversation about the general problem of Ghana or they because say lump all of it together, then if you don't take care, we stand the risk of looking at the generic how I then we forget about the existing problem immediately. But I think that we are speaking the same language of prudent financial management. One of the issues I remember mention on it there. Why is it that when you go to the universities, say urban those biological sciences and all of that, the researcher or individual, and the margin of error is allowed in the research is about below even 1%, unlike the social sciences. So why is it that young country universities in this year we want your students to do research into finding a cure for malaria, but come now, they are around us, so we know all of that. We know because which you not say koto better may advertise a but what you only go to be druby 2 bottles and the malaria it vanishes. So we know, but the only problem is that we are not ready. You see, when you go to the likes of Asia, China, and Japan, for instance, they have invested hugely in making individuals rich men, so that those rich men come back to support the economy. What you see? So one of the things that I think that we can do is that I agree with a reason that we should look at a national vaccine institute, and encourage young people and academia to do a lot more research into that area. But other things we can do in the long term, I've told you, like, people are all called abanmunu. Scanner origin or doors. I mean, I 3,000, 3,500. I 5,000. But somebody is taking about 840,000 a year. That's for salary alone. So reduce it by about 40%. Then you get to know or man and those who are looking for money. So let's take some of their money away from them. That's one. The second thing we can do is that we should begin to build a good business environment for businessmen to succeed. Them tax waiver, you maybe if you are broaching about from Kofu, in German tax waiver, left for me alone. Let us begin to have conversations about how we are going to reduce it, if not cancel it at all, so that money will be redirected into investing it into local people aware businesses. Why? During John Mahama 1, His Excellency, we heard that they supported pharmaceutical companies. Today, some of the pharmaceutical companies are doing very, very well, even in Africa. So it means that there are ways as obey. Why is it that every time we want to focus our attention so much on supporting the foreign economy than supporting the local economy? So we can have those conversations about the general Ghanaian economy and how to change the face of the Ghanaian economy. But in the interim, I think that if His Excellency is listening, or if the finance minister, Dr. Atufosin is listening, one area amazing me feed is shawa. Obey, and I have mentioned that. I've mentioned the carbon, revenue, what we get from there, 500 million. Go there, have a conversation with stakeholders, get about 150 out of that. Then we solve the immediate problem. Then we can have the conversation of solving the larger leadership and thinking problem. I think that would be a way to go.
All right. Joe, may I say, but you did see. Now, I joined the second part of the conversation. The political actors was also sitting. Now, I share other discussions and so on. But, hey, Justice. In common, you're messing here, you in common, Bibria. Yes, indeed, you're messing here. Maybe you will have a very much longer time. Now, you're delve into issues here. But then, you're now, you know, you were not sure the short-term measures are able to mitigate the impending another COVID situation all day in him. But you are also thinking about the long-term how are able to so how do we match this together now into solve this issue we have at hand now? Because the government in the Pentama Yujuma, and he's been confronted with these issues. I think
I think we will need to solve the situation in prim. Say the baby bit me a levy to solve the long term. The CISC said ye kan kwan bi e be fa so a e bi sika bi a ekọ ba bi ni kwan se ekọ sika akodi amanfo ho a e betimi a retrieve sa sika no ye mfa nkọ ye party se minim no nti nya hwe se ni se ye nyina betimi aboa me yensa aka se si yensa timi kika se sika nyina o how bi a wo ho bia na e betimi di bi e de asolve enti me de near Miss me propose ya and I think I support him in that direction say young hwe kwan ye be fa so a ye sika ye wo ye man ye mu de akodi di amanfo ho sika ye di twetwe amanfo ka mre dru se ye hwe sa na mani nyina na ehu se sika bi wo ho a me hu se ye waste ye se no bebre se betimi akati all those waste no so na ye betimi anya sika kese na yet me the ashe, especially the essential part I was hearing about $78 million at the ashe. Then you bit me says cano. And then the finance minister on fin any sika o maimu or fin any bibrian sabit miaka. Am I yet me their solve issues?
All right, it just is what I say. But this conversation you feel see what and there is another issue: deportation. There is another issue that is deportation. So yeah, merging it together. Then we have a longer conversation on this issue. Now is in community. Justice and Joel, for your time this afternoon for the first 1 hour of the show. Thank you very much. Joel Pra Ninka. He's a broadcast journalist and a brother, and then Justice. A communication team member, Abra Movement for Change in our Egano, but now a social commentator. Obobuema Ezi Jume and the area Bri. Alfred Kingati and the NDC rep. Or better I say, Messi Alfred Kingati in a NDC rep, or better I say, Alfred Winkade NDC, or better I say, now easy in come. But before I ever call the second conversation, so no, for all messages in the Brazil 0244 743 143 0244 743 143. Now easy in come. Yani text message and now fi WhatsApp message for bra. Now easy in come. What do you also think? Well, this fiscal gap, Ababadawa, President Washer, the finance minister, the Onshore Konobafado to close to bridge that gap. What do you also think? Government expenditure, maybe Sikebia Kwakoshe, YNG to close that gap, and we should find another avenue of closing that deficit. Ababado Sisia, Obenya adverse effect on the Ghana's economy. High sense the Menkancho the 2025 general campaign Ugudara or according to Fonifachim one showroom na KJ or chest freezer, air conditioners, smartphone sound system, water dispenser, all your electronic appliances in Yano. Ebeni be our high sense one showroom across the country. Mankasim or Ben Blue Hills Restaurant or Antiqua for 030255 0000. Damasceno Ridge Royal Hotel Menkancho Day. On the 14th of this month, in about 2 days' time, Vals de Riba, into Osade, a surprise Odofubi, Osade and Odofubi, and Unico Ridge Royal Hotel. Now, we can have a time together. But I was making sure that our packages be buffet breakfast, your 200 Ghana cedis, buffet lunch, 300 Ghana cedis, buffet dinner on your 350 Ghana cedis. Now, I put a book. We put a surprise will be a Fred Amahume 0312003222 and a 0501672908 or second reach or Cape Coast. The master of Betway is being sure that with Betway you are secured. Betting but so green, Alfred the Moyen or he, the boa or Soreda, I'll link it to Betway and I should green. Oya pa entiko place obetinya ewo Betway enu nyinjumukwa we are very also here nasen. Remember we are also streaming live on Facebook Kastle 90.3 FM. Hey teacher
Angama
akaba
yenya
be de bibia boko
oh boaz na da ma bibia boko
ya de me ase
boko
Rabayin
minya
abebio this year
yes yeah
yes yeah
I am the
my
second time.
Oh, okay.
The last 2 weeks or so, not more hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, me wait for intent day.
I mean, sure, production team.
I did the pa.
Na in French, so if I'm paying John Dramani Mahama, and Mami, the pride of the Ghanaian women, Professor Jane Nano Pokwajiman, my farmer in Mizifa, area Buri, what a Kastle 90.3 FM, Kastle FM. Now, reset agenda no. Ejesuman Orokodo. Michel him as my boss. Research agenda no record. And there, on my pain, John Mahama Ashe, the Afi Independence Day. No, them kawa Afinya Yabo for Independence Day. A product cut down on expenditure. Na yedisi kan kashe baby oze impuntu baba Ghana for here na system. Necessity them rotational celebration of independence and first march in Yaza Wechum. Because last year alone, a staggering 15 million Ghana cedis. 15 million Ghana cedis a day. Yaza Abani MPP Aban was sent for Independence Day celebration. Just Ashanti region alone. Na sikonyeska kakraba. Interfi Independence Day Yaza ye busy or Flagstaff House.
So the regional level need the overcodo.
Communicating about each other as a obezin Flagstaff House
on a national level,
and it is just to cut down waste. Reset agenda being because saying that cutting down expenditure and saving the public personnel. Ya in the Ghana National Service Authority under the Nado Danko Akufo-Addo no now call for 81,885. Means 81,885 personnel. Na busumbia wotu wakawa monizin why ghost. Ghost.
Wow, the investigations in
ghost. Na yan fan da nyipa kubia po busum wotu an ejesuma 700 Ghana cedis. Multiply 700 Ghana cedis by 81,885. Them sikin na 8 years. Nti orano boko dam asen wahwehwem orando boko nti wona was want to orana asen or dam kroni bi to dam sika woda sumazi gwa wozi on order again
na say
budget no bado
for the cast for me this order president diama into the investigation of the national service on the work of Ora and
man mess there as part of resetting Ghana,
okay,
and saving the public purse, protecting the public purse. Last year, under President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo,
okay,
I bet they got there 81,000. We are Mrs. Shua 81,885 ghost. Nkrofa 1 year juma ma oman Ghana. Na 1,000 so. Na busumbia na Nana Danko Akufo-Addo MPP. What's so is called the chair one cup. Now me catch it up. Multiply 81,885 times 700 Ghana.
All right.
The reset budget is coming.
Okay. So 10th March budget bana is in common. Ebusia, hey Alfred.
Ankama. For wa konye na menchi etefo te cast.
Wasi chia na yanko.
Menchi a MP Paman Yokumba wo Cape Coast South and North. Police station executives, electoral coordinators, constituency officers, regional officers, national officers. Na oye wa so anko amra michiao na onye wo producers na my brother cast for do michien. Anko amra ya betina ha me da awu na etina ego ma etoto nyama. Menjinzi da ya beset yan questions efifi na ya betina na ya ka ho asam.
Only any prelims.
Na first match
I have the topic into the
first match here king. Brother abo figure bocho na nado danko Akufo-Addo nedze no nka na move regional by region.
Yes,
anamoba
from region to
yeah regional yeah bi wankran say ya ba Ashanti regional yeah bi wakra
Dabi.
na yam nyuluka say wo be bi wankran na wa san regional capital no so waye. So you are here quoting figures ebi wa ka regional pe regional krope
No figure quote national service.
Go be o tin kan quote say system a check kan Kumasi.
Oh, okay.
Ashanti region.
Yes.
Egi to me there and then Nado na Abedo no. No way 6 matching or Accra. Other Kumasi last way on Kumasi. Central region, yeah, 6 match wa.
Yeah.
To us there. Oh, what to call Kumasi no? Other ranges in other regions in why? I
want to lecture there. I want to say, I feel like I know Flagstaff House. I was working at Flagstaff House. Into your new cost biala.
That is a communication I want back from the government.
And I know for the Casford, I know prepare budget or the moment. Us young cost Ghana lem boko biala. Mo ko ti me kai wa Ashanti region. No cost. Atasa. Wa ba wala won wanzi wo be system a chindu on time. Ewu no cost holibo. Enso ese na yan abakaw. Asa me kana atasa.
Okay. 15 million Ghana a day. 15
million. For the Casford day.
15 million.
Messi. Ami debi amakade abani Ghana ya dashe John Dramani Mahama nsana mwa.
Yes.
Monwa obebi awanye. Master they criticize, you ever criticize. But me gina hey. Monwa budget wa budget for 6 match all about. Enti memfa amemazina ma ye twumun.
Enti yantwan until once we budget baba. Na
ye. For the one moment kanyi.
What the kakra na wo ye no nsu ne budget.
Na su ne budget all baba ana ye betena ha. Ne ye hu ze ye den. Ye kan wasam.
All right.
Enti masraw nyabotan for the Casford. Nyomo wa de kan wasam. Onu tin ya betena hi. Enti an kan ma me ye twan.
Head teacher made us say head teacher Alfred Kingati and Father Casford. Ebiabri enuanumi na watina sa ebezi inkom Father Casford kasama NDC amayeko no. Eja Alfred Kingati kasadima NPP amayeko. Now we are zooming straight into the conversation and oyaza a communique, another a letter from the chief of staff. Now, also, government revokes all appointments, recruitment made after December 7. Now, the government has revoked all appointments and recruitment made in the public service of Ghana by the former Akufo-Addo administration after 7th December 2024. A circulation issued to all heads of ministries, departments and agencies by Mr. Julius Debra, the chief of staff at the presidency, and copied to the Ghana news agency, said consistent with government pronouncement in relation to near end of tenure appointment and recruitment, wish to bring to your attention that all appointment and recruitment made in the public services of Ghana after 7 December 2024 are not in compliance with our established good governance practices and principles. Now, also, he categorically, or he said accordingly, all heads of government institutions were requested to take the necessary steps to annul any such appointment or recruitment and submit a comprehensive report on the actions taken to his office by 17th of February 2025. So they have about 5 days that these people, their appointment be revoked and move out of office, and report sent to the presidency on the 17th of this month. Father, why this move? And one hour point one after 7th December. Even after 7th December, the MPP government is still in power, and per the law, they have the power to appoint and disappoint. They have the power to recruit. What is wrong with the appointment, the then administration, where you are in to revoke those appointments?
Yes, man. My man does. Za Ghana Yuko School. Odri in fear 18 years and above order or Yejuma or Maima. Or Hokwande or Predo Benya Ejuma or public sector. Apen Ejuma Waye. And now any business been set up so I set up in already. To be a gun in Ibia or Quande or you ban a jumon or ya ban Nasazi. Now so or Quande the one bread the wa a jesuman, yes a phone call for a jumon. As I'm be saying that in Blanu was it that Ebanaber na Nadraban or probably she there. You're a phone call for. Oh, Ghana Police Service, military, health, education. Eba na bena dam publication okodo. And time in na bano so dey dam recruitment no ejesuma. Ehun there it is ungodly time. There ya to ambewe na in the work 1 week na ebe fi abanim. Na is it 1 week in the recruit nkofa wobble wo 8 years now from 2017 to 2024. If you nkofa from another 1 week order for them kofia, what do switching ni total employment of kwan papa de.
And the figures that we are talking about here.
The figures,
yes, essay or employee, and
yes, that's the statistics there. So you share one employment statistics out working share Ghana for. In each other, in Kwafudu was over millions, over 2 million people. In a one appointment letter there, one call that is 1 week
over 2 million.
That is what MPP is saying. The one you are Ghana for. Never has into them Kwafudu doing in a 1 year you may yes one. Now so the total in Town share 2017 hours by 2024 before let me say 2024 June recruitment abanwaya ya even there 1 week recruitment is switching papa na waye no now you be say biom you be sir sabani wo national service scheme alone sabani tum or recruit ghost 81,885 people in just less than a year. Eben azinta dam Ghana fia. What page you may na do na MPP 121 phone a drum de dado. Eben azin no so kwadanko wo bo phone a drum de dado. Enwa into bo wunde recruitment na wayan or you politically motivated.
Father maybe no, but we shouldn't mix things here. You the national service obi we or your tertiary no your national service, and we are talking about recruitment into public institutions.
Yes.
But you are linking it to national service, internet.
Yeah, so national service ghost 81,000 was one afibiara na do abani tuan kawa. Ino ye hu there obi a we university 2-3 years. No page no police service, fire service, health. Abandon 2-1 from the room. No mom ghost 1,000 na busum da wo tuan ka. Onye hu bia. Oye hu. Into that recruitment or politically motivated, especially when now what for call military police na no keka wono or non-MPP activists one mo fire MPP fire ye lose inti yanse so won kogum na yim da wo tumi da e from kofu Ghana fo kogum adwumom in 8 years anye na 1 week in befi power na kwaka for na. We show concern for the human cost of this decision. 18 years 2030 pedal and son and then your juma once about Kowano. Inti oya yo de wa banedam. But ye buffer kwan papado. Na ye za phone ejumum o send there. Them recruitment na way no advertisement. Ye take institutions are police, council no kekawa. Police full I mean kwafo ye ejuma of them state institutions not only Ghana Police Service. Oh yet one was on kwafo na ba. Yet one was no aba. Even the police, fire service, immigration officers, you know, all them one advertise. No way recruitment in one way. What's what order from above? Order from above. And in your order from above alone, people had to pay for public sector jobs. Ghana university pay Juma and Anadon. Or they each year 40,000, 25,000, 17,000 and sana Ghana ban amwe the miska ojeje no John Mahamas reset aye no on said that Ghana yi pay dwuma ya itwe sikana wafu adwuma ni dan da won kata na bo application dameda yemo wonko no one they should reapply some part of one document bibia ye genuine ebna azinti na abaniji won sika asa no fun adwuma
but yenyim de Ghana ha abanu ba fon kofu adwuma mo onji won sika
na make catch the evidence about there or Jonesika. I'm mebusu. I'm mebusu. More fast. No. Me cousin.
Find out meba. Aban no oji da mun kofu ni sika de woye legitimate Ghanaians or there wo yejuma na aban se meji won sika ana individually be na wo take that advantage that wo jim kofu sika.
Sir enka ba no a inyutum da before bi wo hospital ne health
But
teacher adwuma.
Yenyim de Ghana ha aban for nkofo adwuma ma.
Aban so ye recruitment.
Yes, aban in Jessica.
Agencies of government or recruitment. Certain massive. Agencies of government. For the government that recruit. It is me cousin. I don't know pay teacher adwuma ye. Na so dem nyan me contribute 12,000. Yes, do kwansa no wa for adwuma or Western regional. Why not give them musical no? One of them in the first place.
Sikan waji kama abana na individual.
Abana this can or coach sikan ansana. Or coach ansana what was an appointment letter was a messy mammy tema. Mama Busema. Yen and contribute. Into under Abana MPP Abani. Okay. Ghana you page my or their coach yako. Damn can what church you know. Yes, it is an immoral act. And so we want to do the right thing. One conquer one scano. No one for can papa don't want apply. Now yamu ne juma na woye. Na wo kofie im da se awo ejesuman mbaji wusika de 20,000 famam. Na mama wa for fire service. Nande appointment no we terminator. Ya baba modo. Abam jam for wusika.
Ba say wo for ze.
Wo form. Ah no e bento we terminator appointment no. Nta baba modo there. It's part of the reset agenda. The one ko baby one waju the misika no one ka yiji wonu sika nfi won ho.
So now you agree with me don ya ba no oji sika no.
No, the agents, the assignees of President Nana Dan Akufo-Addo. And at the Ghana Fire Service, Ghana Police Service, Immigration,
okay.
I mean health, education.
And it's kind of good government coffers.
How can I tell that?
But so
how can I tell this? Can now to go on money consolidated fund?
For that one there, you can't say that Nanado Ajijin Krofoniska.
But be some no go account ma. Be some go abana account ma.
Sent Father Beba yes in komo. Sent to crime be Sunday. Honestly, no go abana account ma. Yenyim a country yenyina yum that individually nyimpa binum will take advantage what ye enye maybe and yenyim there omani. Abanye recruitment on Jessica. That fact need to be established. Anamebwa.
Yes, man. More infantun the mommy team, my sister, my cousin. You could Jessica.
And one more.
And then another down Akufo-Addo aban.
So one more on government receipt.
Sikano one man receipt.
So how do you determine what Jessica no man?
What Jessica? I mean, as one the president and none at the down Akufo-Addo budget Ghana. Ebas na zintin and now brother no. And ask me a secret.
Yes, I know. That is why maybe said there. Maybe said there. Unless you cannot call Abanwana individual being one
individuals in state agencies are present. Akufo-Addo I am prayer one because no NDC person, no NDC person, okay. And then another. But to waji minua say
Alfred.
The Mamskamo phone fire service. Who am I? Into a young one and all Banimuno. One on what tomb the war from Kofed Moon. One did the Miscano. Near said young Kofu far from 2017 waffle a Juma water Jessica. Edges will go to me way a free atum. Then 1 year appointment and employment from 2017. You can conduct that and a doctor research. Let's do that. All people should call. A bone Kofu Kadampa. Ye Jessica na wasn't from fire service. Work from as a nurse, as a teacher. I mean, it's a visible fact.
I'm not disputing that fact.
And that was the situation. Yes, on yet. Into them that young for Papa the young phone ejumo. Papa in there, one kaji unska first. No, we are one applier and interest can ever fall. But it's even wrong there 1 week to exit power. As a recruit Crawford. Did they have financial clearance? Assembly sign. Never budget na why ya that to wa. You ever found over 2 million edible to one call. Never budget na why ya to. Assembly circles why ya budget to no the bottom one kawa. And why? Ain't see them you feed the OSP and Yoko. Some of these allegations are come upon. They should take this issue up and investigate and arrest those who took these 25,000, 40,000 from Ghanaian youth who needed job to do. So we are saying that Yanfa Kwan Papado, Yanfa Fon Kofu Ejuma. Yes, obia when I we figure na work amanazi wo pedwuma yen. Wo obi ne mandupo no. Work won trace sika na wafo na edwuma. Obenden na waya yen mother country, motherland. Obi pedwuma yen odo trace sika na wafo na edwuma. Why yo? Na won so fo nyina party colors, party ma. Now, so constitution, if you should be open to all. Or them will come apply. Now, that's one as Obiaba. It's on as Obiaba. That's what you share him. What you share him and a war for one. You went this so far, no war page, you will apply 1 for 1. When this youth now. And go for far when these are. Why apply for police, military, fire service, health, teaching, 1 for 1. Next year, the 1 hour phone, I am part of your MPP for. Because in this for I apply a 1 for 1. Chada them recruitment wayen, we jay ma wasam, what ye MPP for. Into yan security agencies. Nasa buffer amanyoku kubi no mumbe koguma. It's a threat to national security. That would be a threat. We are not safe as a nation. Into other young na yabwa. Nay, the right thing. When the yens police service and all young people from quoting. Military or NPP from quoting. That's the last minute recruitment. These are all NPP guys. Because in this if you to our prior 1 for 1. We send one quote Jessica. We need to count here and quote. So this injustice nation azima timemofono or the yesu anokwa. Okay, John Mahama cannot continue with this attitude. That won't choose Kamanana Wafonaju. So Mama accept and corruption of President Kofado Abajatu. Okay, so from Jessica, yes, you scan your trying to be called Mahama Bano until yes one no quano. Father, but Mr. This question I mean for Winston call head teacher though. Is it that there was a legitimate vacancy positions in Albania recruitment? Another there wasn't a vacancy position in them recruitment in the Kodo and sacking these people, another getting them going back home. If there is a vacancy positions there, why are you sacking them? Is it because the previous government recruited them, or if they acquire no your papa? The sacking jina sikana mbebun when you go to no sikana wo to no mas no your. Oh, but can we go to 25,000, 40,000 what you change? Father, the communique say recruitment are why after 7 December one car any financial AEB. You are stressing on that. In the arguing by the communique. These are 2 questions. Messi, Sikana Ghana for Kotochi and a wolf warm on appointment letter. It is criminality, illegal thing. Illegality. Don't expect John Mahama to continue with such illegality. 2, the timing. It was, some of them had their letter 6th January. Appointment letter 15th December. Some of them 29th December. One appointment letter. Ibiesida. Ghana Ibiesida ya tuambewe abana odoroko. Nano 1 week, 2 weeks, you know. Often call for Ejumema. Nasa bi posidia a oye no abafufu no ba no ye den. Bra predecessor often call for Ejumem after elections no. Nanado oben eba na mo no tui. Nasa vacancies wo ha. Asembi sende na edin kan phone ejuma na yekoto ambank o ana. Eba ndisi na etwan. Answer na the phone. Intinya there, yam bafan call for vacancies war. Na yam for kwan papado. Let advertise. Where such recruitment advertise, can they give us the evidence? Because that is published in the dailies. Na Ghana baby there in the yam from for police into Musum wa kwenja monko. No publication of the sort. Underground recruitment, and anything. Any economic activity that is underground, it is illegality, criminal. Father, we cannot continue with such criminal act. We cannot. Father, may I say, baby, head teacher, why last minute recruitment? Whereas in the what time also is it that a peer burden to the incoming government in Ghana? Or was it a deliberate or actually there was a vacancy?
my brother Casford no why I am one kakra Mr. Casford as American there's wait behind you there good reason in there walk on head man a big one ska ebe Father Casford my brother Ebekaya under MPP government one what by a way bibia online recruitment security service nyina na oko online no ko access but you online be say for the class for there space bi ho ebobo political affiliation o ma Ghana yeba bia to ma apply under NDC na bibia anyo offer online it's the few na what the forms what appointment letter was abroad the court training Amalankasa I'm malame yanko brabo okahu ndem you go so police o tenafie motuma abo NDC penyin o the letter o the come na ofie motuma abo ni na cho wan to appointment letter wan to forms biara the master na oleka akudwisem na cast for the journalism I'm telling you anya wo go tueske biara nka ya hwe munia mama nka asam venture ame metina he ame menye aduma 2008 mutiai no fu meduma what are you talking about mama mata yen preach them holy asam na da hon onya mele kai bia munia on record me peda google there na da kwa akufa do over 2017 on chiram civil servant 1.1 na na do be oyin nezi google na share baba google munia dam asem wa be yenwa oya asem bia ye be test Ghana mbra or they test Ghana and I am the day yenya lawyers bi no was asam no was court nkati bi I am the pa but you see later no was the ben us there one on recruit one after December 7th anambo
yes
and the appointment letter with data at the start more do it is a yimpa no no data or appointment letter no December 6th you don't have any right to sack him or her.
What's why you backdating bebre?
Oh, munia as American must say Julius Dabra or chief of staff. Na letter no the beno. I say our recruit after December 7th. Anamwa. And I must say you pen a letter or what do December 6th. You don't have that right to sack him or her. Are you aware? That's it.
Okay.
And I'm telling you on record, there, in one of our training school, be it fire, be it police, be it immigration, obian letter, on you are what fun, after December 7th, no woman appointment letter. I'm telling you gospel truth. Sure, Eba young constitutional article 191, I say that's the Public Service Act. A member of public services shall not be victimized or discriminated against for having discharged his duties faithfully in accordance with this constitution, or be dismissed or removed from office or reduced in rank or otherwise punished without just cause. But embabu na wafu na edwuma no one crime onye den abobon na waye abobon wonye boni bia o we citizen of this country aban wa advertise 2021 what turn forms online wa advertise and wa akwa forms na wa qualify for recruitment it's abobon and the dambabu no waye eso nko getrefi why abobon 2 I say the president shall acting in accordance with the advice of the Public Services Commission appoint a public officer as the head of civil service. Inti demo kofi when appointment letters in of for public services commission. Enkata say inti say on ye which huntina or yabaze or a deliberate attempt in this for another President John Dramani Mahama all year. And it will not work. It will not work because since obiaki ten appointment letter day to wado you can say and you know what training what training one allowance ba. So what are you talking about? Sure, this is not the first time. President Mas Yamifon can see Obeno in the military. Mkofu gu military why training waka 1 week ma wa pass out was sakin wonyina. By that time no I mistake military na why because of one month appointment letters. But those one so what training is out there get an appointment letter. If they don't know.
Ejuma na nwie yo say na training na nwie ya o say na appointment letter.
You see security services no. Eco training once eco training no chere I qualify because eto forms na wo wanya wo bohwe ansa na akọ body check wo various stations eco so no so o stage no so eboko inti say incomplete stages ni nyala wo chere qualify e qualifier in message o chere da then I qualify. Enkata say
but you there after your training and officially we induct you into the service. And see any training in way or your training is part of the process. And see anyway, why would you be given an appointment letter?
In America there. Security services no. One no or you different from ABA for other service. Other service they go interview in your BBI and sana why then was a weapon letter. I should win him. And Kata say, but here's the case. Them batch here what cray and one call before December 7th. One call after December 7th. One call before December 7th. One call po was sunny or bear or two aba no sunny walkway. And Kata say, but here is the case America child there. Civil services no commission. One wash them in Yemi. In a way, shall a chief of staff the bear now. And with that, when quote any article be our constitution, won't. And Kata say, but for me, you preach there unemployment adults woman. You preach there unemployment or Koduma in Bobulia than what I say. Into sa aban for Abba. Now, but today, Ibinum were training, and I have been powerful in a Juma. And Kata say, what officers are what you in a Juma? Per this constitution, you don't have the right to sack them. Per this, you see, there, appointment letter in Pinocchio no a fake. But that's what I say. Chino a fake. And I'm a brother American and Obum. It's my brother Casford. One sister so what brother nurse who Emma for you more Western region teaching no. It's all out there. There when you're not appointment letter genuinely. Appointment letter no fake. Remember come to him. Oh yeah, genuine appointment letter. Next in there because of Okotua Sikabinti on sending met fie na abani sending on way akonya fofo no sending on apply. What is the possibility of offer? Brother Casford, I say one at higher can show. Why? You see, answer over fage man, over fage my phone. What finance minister and my clearance are.
Oh, my clearance.
What my clearance? Don't go for one clearance. And clearance day to know. I know what's your one appointment letter so. My brother, are you aware?
Yeah.
Clearance day to know. I know what's your one appointment letters. With that clearance, no. I could be alone to get all of fage my phone. Omo clearance nti no chede abana ma otum da ebotum ayeden afanyimpa clearance so normal or normal what mo da yeden fa na me brother ka so se na after December 7th you find more than 2 million for the Kastle ebe aba se na better ha eken I am the day put two question man there nti figure aba figure na what da dansa na 2 million be kan wi na do aya zo akam na na do agba eduma pa o
dama
that 1 week we to have for 2 million na jo ma no 4 years o do tum for be eyo trillion no ani yenye nka na wonya o be fi private sector wako government sector for the Kastle you don't have any figure enti men ka na ma asemi what is wrong is wrong aba to eduma for ho and you see abane baba abane boko abane bafa eduma fo enti se awo eli edemi sa abane foforo ba na no so ba na obesak wono ho a na ye papa na ye bon ti mamu na wa for the right process wa for bibia do wa to forms wa qualify wa ko o training esne because ibi jini skenti abane se bi yiwedi kokaji uska fi mpo aba na nsemi aba asemi for the Kastle jedama asem na kan adza wa ye no onye because mo fama o training another one wa for no and mama shift to only the security services ngata say because extra public services now odosun
yeah
or bebre health service ka ho education service bebre na wa for the right processes na nyame na adom na we nya adwuma na oleye ifie bed na nko wo fie no da to kakra esimenye tumu be ya ese na amanyimpa no aketene fie enti na wala enti ebe da bobo na ebe da be se yade ebe former president sorry President Mahama obed all bobo ana obed all be se yade and this no opposition what preach the unemployment na nyama ye wadom ma ba abo today ibinu mo ho wa fo na adwuma ada we da wo eyenye de wo so gba shakwan na ba foda wo so benya akonya me wo so employee wona wo fie no still menyu kase hu wona wo to forms 2021 ankwam na dudu na wo fie se be kaya former president Nana Dodo answer na ye boto abe enwunda minority then NDC minority and our led by Ato Forsen no work there them security services abanaka da one show one 2021 for e bi da one aye dan wo go fie nti ka won push one nkaka na one dan won kwansa na we roll out new forms why then wo boto no so wo che ho ye kwa wo che wo echi na ntase ye adwuma ma wotumi akonya be ya wotumi why then wo for them 2021 for bi ma was one cry na dem go fie la wo si sale mpoi menyuru ka say NDC MPs one coffee then what can because one quarter I'm gonna say MP bia woman slot MP bia woman slot enti pa che dem MP NDC MP na sabi we tum wa woman slot mo da banim paso do ma abofra bi we nya akonya okono esa abofra no metena fie kwaku records I am MP why man bi me jizi da woman bi no azepe no me jizi da kwaku records ba me MPP na anko pe ano Kastle asemo kan America yo I mean you see me nyim da enye adwuma MPP ya Ghana nyi anamobwa MPP yo NDC yo enye adwuma eliye you see for the Kastle I can point out not less than 20 wo Cape Coast South we strong in this far when the washer security services are I can point it out if you ho anyamu yampo na yabu won stop this you see yeah politics but you see money come na say you pay powder yeah yankofo ba for the Kastle do ten we ana yetena ha yelka so you pay yankofo pa enti yafa na for the Kastle aba bemi na se munua bi hiambo a na me to so no obaboa ma enti for the Kastle embo na ya na ya mboma
asa wo bo
and that I say
I tell on bo
I can't no go for try na pay but you see on your dem na o chichira o ma no on your dem na o chichira ya boy ya ho even the parliamentarians fu na wo ho until the veterinary half your mark can catch one there okay one of the Ipa no veterinary there I'm the defense minister. Okay, no, I me ye imuru ho wonti. Emre so da me ba beje mo slota. Emfa mu ante. Ma oka de ye nyina MPP wodo no wo ma MPC nya wo mo slot ni bi. Wo mo ni bi aye normal thing.
Okay.
Enti me srawan. Em mo frama no ye sika be we kotua. Na wase woli ye yi. Oye ada. Oye plant na wa plan. Do wo be wona da ma no but believe me. Me say per the appointment letters we get no this thing will not work.
Okay.
Because what for the right channel no will process won't be no what you want ejuma it's a Mr. one I mean I've told me there I mean to me more one more boy this fool but if someone tells it na sasra or watching yeah I mean say me there my band na mo hwa mo wasa no wa ba bim nkata say but can we then one go na wori adwuma na elekasa akon no we busuafo wo gwan na we je we nuanu ma wo hwon no fie nti se elekasa akon wa ba another burden I about to handle.
All right.
I'm imagine there we pe won hwehwe won kratem won hwehwe one papers me there a result another certificate take it
or qualify another one.
Yes, I qualify and qualify is an engineer a qualifier jauna one jauna yeden ye wadwuma mas nkadam mom na me peda weden oye da na bakara wonya wo mlefi
teacher me da say but father
yeah minya ma ozika menka there there's no moral dignity in paying to be employed. There's no moral dignity in paying to be employed. There me peda me pa wifi na G20 system am kwana mba prowifi na bosum so etemeka. This is what kind of way.
Okay, so
what kind of way?
Father member,
it is not grace. When that happens, you can't call that.
Father Kasford member. Per I want us to limit ourselves to the communicator or chief of staff of the Beno. The communicating in stress on people are recruiting on into public services after 7 December. One mention obi akwa go sika na but amina wonya yenyim there government or from go for adwuma government in sika nto there betche the misike ansa na bana for adwuma amina wonya we know that fact.
Yes man.
Father,
go to Ghana web. How MPP sacked new police recruits.
Okay.
After assuming office in 2017. ACP Agbozo. It is Waba Power. Waba Power 2017. When I work from police here, Jumo. Musako send there. Mahama Fowan. Brana yard to Ambewie. They mean to one coffee. Ebazina was a APM, agents woman. Yaka say no public sector worker, any worker that is on payroll, government of Ghana's payroll, has been sacked. Quote me anywhere. No worker on the government of Ghana's payroll under the controller, auspice of controller, has been sacked. If you have the evidence, tell us. So be missing what Ghana ban no woman auditor edumaya foka wa sack na under abano maka. Mpakon mbra abano na.
Isn't it the process I worry for this is yeah with this letter
no government worker oja kotia January or December has been sacked. Zaya kasa fa ho iya wana yato ambe wie ya wonam sumaduga wogigi won skada wozo bogwa abanadwem mun wana wasaka won da won kofie na yan insishan fofu yembuem no biamfa obiambra.
But the communicating to them also those recruited after 7
That's
December.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
into
about.
Public service. It covers everybody. Obi will recruit.
Yes, na miss what the Jones kaso come. Man no evidence. Man look. Say recruitment. Also recruitment should be based on merit. Gentlemen. Recruitment into government services, agencies should be based on merit. Do you agree with me? It's because also why your recruitment and then another why your recruitment are. one man MPP slot, one main this slot. Na say me kwaku reket or yen this in yen fa no no kodo me kwaku reket slot or yen this in don fa nkofo 5 nkọ police a wana mo dam na kwaku ba fa na akọ and the nature of the partisan party police politics are what's hey what I know says what to know
online you see
no I'll come to the online one me not everything
or making the point
just recruitment I'm saying recruitment should be based on merit now back there kwaku recruit go recruitment in one man slot on phone call for 5 10 on phone call once we implement more slaughter a candidate yeah politics before election yeah but MPP one parliamentary candidate one obia 15 slot what's here Father Kastle when is this about okay implement kwaku bi na say make kwaku bi a kwaku ba fa obi oya ndc o da to police ni ya paying this fool MPP for go Ghana police service another ya pay Ghana for we cannot make the police service the security agencies partisan. And that ought to be done. We cannot go in that direction. Look, us 2021, one of our applicants who are applied into security agencies, some are still at home.
Yes.
It's yes. Now, to go for someone, I'll be the phone call for being better. Why am prime call for being better? Now, in Juma, the Yelka, in Juma Bobam, I come from Kofu Togo, what be you Ghana? On there, to on them farmer, what about of Camden? Oh, farmer, and what's my Taraka? Musi, Saint Juma Pa, na Yarka. In Juma Boba, in them video, and Juma Boba, and Kofu Fiamanazu, are begging Ghana. In that year, even 2021, Kofu, our plan, Ubuffy, into my mamma for you. Mamma Buffon, you. Look, NPP budget of presented 2024. Ages woman, tell me which of the paragraphs, pages, show me there. After 7 December, they will make employment. The 2024 budget, President Ronaldo is more Ghana. Where in the budget or the Ghana for? Yet to Amberia, Mafron of where you know. Because no budget allocation was made for this recruitment. What budget's na yen? It is sent about phone call for you. And I said, Abanfo for no bano. Menses on confirm for no one wanna come for hobby what to Abanfo no. Other way, that's that one idea.
Okay.
The young fan watcher in what to Jamama, but what was it? The public sector was full. Also, okay. Public sector was full, so you couldn't make employment. Nanda, if you don't know, not Mahama, no 24-hour economy or bayano, the no academic fees or bayano, the 24-hour economy, sanitary pad, taxes over to children, yes, Mamma no action. Them the move crew to confer. 1 2 application, 1 them doing that. You pay you my fire service. Them go for phone. Fine when you want to pay you my.
Hey, Father, sure.
This one people go pay you my. This one.
Hey, Father Casford. Maybe. Father Casford. Hey.
Yen nyina ya wa ha. Ansa na eboko security services bi anu. We an online.
We advertise
what papers. With one website baba.
But also I want our phone no in Juma. No phone.
No, auto general. Ehun. Na akwa online aka access. Ansana. Ebon there, obaka there as a police service we be weapon call for 10,000. Menjis na 10,000 or bottle forms no. Be 20,000, be 30,000. No bottle forms no. Nkata say, it is a catch there. One bottle forms 2021. And a chunk of batches wogufie ngata se na se abana you so wunda da mon kofo no da nkaka nkra wo phone nkaka because bebre na qualify ena what na fie ngata se enti minister no ho no me ye finizin am no former greater Accra regional minister no ben Herikote da yansa no mbe forms foforo na wansa no kwto forms no nyina no ya kaw. But when I water forms that don't know qualifying, young phone and cacancra. Anna worry. Now, Mamma there, woman MP's slot no, men quote figure. Must say, woman MP's slot. NDC bow, MPP bow, woman MP's slot. Oh, yeah, fact. And that I say, into say, NDC ya quarter forms online. Now I qualify. Now so, what to call a party office, Nasa or Dama. MP na MP abona no so ochede wa ka feyi na Father Gaspard mpocho dem nko NDC na MPP won talk fa won ya me jo Ghana fo Ghana wan only political affiliation obia won political affiliation enti say so are you telling me that NDC for boy NDC go to na obenya adwuma ya dem won youth authority payin wa ka kan ehu won ka sa motive adwuma so won tim na what ba power no all hand one. Because in the dollar, no one national youth authority, CEO what to no, na semida no, or bobo NDC, ni ansana wa bua Ghana ni. Mwaka someone ask someone and someone wa kind of no, or a hunt one. But you see, this is just the beginning. Enyanzi yawaha, mese, enyan Ghana for yawaha. Ya share. Bibia loko dubia ya leshe. Enyanzi yawaha. As opposition party, I'm saying there. Dam nkofia nyame na adom wenye adwuma wenye won appointment letters 1 year auditing nkata say won hwe won papers no mu so won papers no ya correct wonja won won adwuma zanezan ye no nimpa no bohu de me paper mu zibeyi onye nti watum nkofia da che de mu wonyina do bi na mediri yeden mediri yimpa na afiwo. But if you tell me them for yimpa 7th December and after 7th December but 7th December no one no president no president.
Okay.
And say catch am on to mfa yimpa adwuma. The man in a way, you know, you can read the content. It's a message in that way.
Maybe friend maybe. Yeah, didn't come here maybe or office of the head of the civil service. Now there was a recruitment advertisement and deadline here 31st of May 2024.
Okay.
And see, say Yarika, that was the final recruitment in civil service in 2024.
What advertising?
Okay. So the opening of the portal another recruitment from 1st March to 31st May 2024.
Okay.
And see, that was the last advertisement the civil service So after this time, that's a one way portal. It means the vacancies there will close. Until after this period, now another recruitment biwa.
But you're only a civil service.
Civil service.
No, your level local government.
Yes.
Your our sectors. Time with the boy one.
So, yes. It's
civil service one day.
Yes, my civil service one day at this period. My question may be saying that after this period, 1 year any recruitment into civil service during that period after the closing date, that is the last period what year recruitment 1 year BOA.
Only a civil service May and
yes, 31st May was the deadline.
So my memory serves me right. I mean August mum. No, we civil service.
So maybe the office of the head of civil service.
Yes.
Maybe one maybe I say the online application portal for the 2024 civil service recruitment open to the public on 1st of March 2024 and closes on 31st May 2024.
Only we portal no. No, but end with the day.
Yes.
It's the David Odul upon one aqua portal on ye.
And it means there wouldn't be any recruitment again.
Yes. But what appointment letter no no only chere the midday no babado. Mama can answer. The midday TL Koti or ye portal away. Ebi o to ogbe no 2 weeks.
Yes.
There, the 2 weeks portal na going to call access application.
I'm not talking about the period. I'm talking about the end period.
Yes.
The last time
2024
their record what their recruitment was between March and May. No, we'll be portal and do
yes, and we'll be portal and do. But as at time what the boy what select him panel work interview because the application
okay
one for you
okay
and your application we are no I show them when they qualify then we are for interview. Then no take some time.
So it will run to December.
Oh, man, about run to December. My patch there. Inside my car, May, but suppose we're for August.
Okay.
asama kana tata.
So August, it is between the periods.
Yes.
And that will be the last time
what the phone on ejuma. Enka tase.
Yes.
But ma Julia Debra no that but there I will recruit too after 7th December no. And I'm there. I mean to be frank, mu no be an appointment letter we recruiting after 7 December. Them I'm brother 2 million.
Okay, so after 7 December, one year appointment.
Yeah, that.
Oh, really?
But my brother are saying there. You will be more training CCLA. One appointment letter no. If you appoint November 2024 on the appointment letter. And Kata say, into say, why do you there? Our training into our funnel recently, yeah. Then you are getting it wrong. But you see, I'm American there. Where you Ghana for?
Okay.
And I say about to me that yeah, I can in there. Show one papers in there. What the band is it genuine? Another you genuine. Or you fake? Another you fake. Because I'm going to you they be to the fake certificate was okay mum.
Yeah.
If you put to me there will be the certificate there then or the quick mum. And see, one show one paper sim. If say the man and the man woman unable to mark one paper in Yamabi won't see ya then coffee.
So the Ghana Armed Forces one deadline for oil application recruitment application was 11th October.
Yes. October no what deadline. One way one port abiu. One way port abiu October no we in Mpono. One from somewhere November say October. No from for body checks na no one ka ma why selection we ya November na what training. Enti me you can say what training this year.
Okay.
We training this year you can say.
And after the period that will go through the normal system backyard the phobia and ballroom bill.
Oh no. Na security service or the backyard look.
Teacher but I say and we say hi Kastle 90.3 FM me man hodo Jumezi in a good heritage. My main canon. Some of your messages in through on for the cast for dinner a page. My just a minute because I exhaust your time.
Next week, Samraba, Miss Wana will recruit to no co. Ne application. The time we inviting or apply. That time we don't call recruitment.
Okay. That is the security agency.
Yes. Or no from a fire service.
Fire service. Okay.
I bet you that. Last minute employment in our way.
Okay.
Last minute. Can be sent there. Every time we advertisement. On to anchor. Every time we advertisement. But when we enter today, it's not about fake certificate. Yanka the one who work for one. One could say okay, a fake certificate. Yes, the processes are banned here. No, on yes on here.
All right.
But my mankind there, we need an act to govern all these things. There should be a law that will eliminate protocol recruitment.
All right. For the council, may I say, did the precious government had the right to employ Ghanaians to work at any government sector after the 7th December general election? This current government is going overboard already, and they should know that 4 years is just around the corner. K from Peju. Okay, may I say. Good afternoon, Kamina. The best way to bridge this space by revisiting the project that ex-President Kufuor started by supporting some businessmen and women with funds to grow their businesses in the private sector. We all know the impact of the 50 businessmen and women are playing on our economy. So let's continue what Dr. Indum, an ex-president, did to save our economy. Ohinijan from Besa Chrome. Ohinijan Medase. Safo Manfo said in 2017 that people employed after 7 December will be sacked. Please, the video is online. They sacked many people. All right. Medase. I send the same message, baby. Mac and Amo. Come now, why don't you call a spade a spade? This thing started from 2017 and nobody talked about it. But today, the same people are crying. Cancer from Elmina. All right, cancer. So it started from 2017 whereas Honorable Yawasafumafo also will be sacking Crawford. All right. Also for message in the bra 0244743143 na yenzi in common. Good evening, everyone. I'm Richie K from Abra Cape Coast. I think those appointments were just for political reasons. How can you make an appointment, numerous of them, meanwhile their tenure in government was yet a month away? The MPP man should understand that then elected president has not even made budget for the year, and it will embedded hardship onto the elected president. Okay. Video na Eddie Abba. Okay. Okay. All right. Ebusa yenko inim. Ma o messages in bra. Ma waba WhatsApp and ma can no. The minority in parliament, the minority caucus, condemns this discontinuation of several high-profile criminal cases, and some of these cases are the current Attorney General Obebesi Igodo will cancel those cases. Also, the state is not state in interest with those cases in the mobile. It be a Atufos in the case, Opunini case, the current acting governor of the Bank of Ghana, Nikis, and then a whole lot. Father, yes. The majority was 1 year comfortable with the appointment. Why would you discontinue those cases? Whereas maybe you could have gone further to prove if then the Koribi woman.
Yes, sir. Some of these cases seem like politically motivated cases. When you engineer Dubiara now. NPP Aban Shasida will fight them cases 2017. 8 good years.
Okay.
Send or when you do another case, and baby woman. Sanka was a to force and Nunca can cause robot. But after 8 years, actual semi evidence. Until the AG, current AG, has that power to file nolly prosequi. There are some other one on you and Dibian on you interest into a draw cases. But Ansana. Dr. Ayini Bafal no prosecution. If in the case of Atufosin, the High Court or the Court of Appeal had acquitted Atufosin and Japa. Into Asama court in West area, no about to go there. There's no prima facie case, a substantial evidence that some no or when you be into what was some negunu. When you show my new AG, or the name wasn't Akasha Damasem Numubimana.
Okay.
Then open the new agent and I've been for free oil. Then that of Collins Dowder's case. It was several inconsistencies in the prosecution of Collins Dowder in the case. The charges were there what caused financial mismanagement. If that charge now wasn't in the court, it is fraud. Because one prosecution is alleging that the man misapplied $200 million public funds into them what caused the financial loss to
the state.
To the state.
Okay.
But that is a false statement because the issue the certificate that accompany a year only 198 million of the fund actually reached Ghana. That the Nikkei is working. So we are told there. Only 198 million, no, Oba Oman Gan. It is a damn not that. How can Collins Dowder, misapplied $200 million?
So Collins Dowder in the case in specifically or ever the case?
That yeah, think I was no there. What to be also by offending Ghana. There was a procurement. No, Orient is Ghana had it. Now, them procurement and Orient is under them procurement. No, it coin Zana walk catching. You can walk catching. It was just 200 million. $200 million.
Because there Collins Dowder in the case is a Saglame housing project case, The
Saglame housing,
yes.
na one practice that dama koni ina no. It was $200 million. But sika Colin Dowda obesi ninsem was just $198 million. Nisa abandoned the Colin Dowda Kokejina court there. There's what caused financial loss to the state of $200 million. And scan if himfa. I want to one any evidence because the contract tender Godfred Odame tendered in at court. $80 million had already been paid under his predecessor. Let us see, and son of cross down the babano. No $80 million other way to that. Instead of your cross down upon no them $198 million.
The affordable housing project.
Yes, all the monies were not the $200 million were not all paid by Consdada. Someone else had paid $80 million before. Instead, didn't Kwekejina court there. What cost he has made a payment of $200 million. Now, only in Biara. Because part of the payment had been authorized by a minister from the previous, even with this affordable housing. Zayel saying that President Kufone administration made payment before in this abandoned by Botiado.
Kastle 90.3.
One can send people phone. No, where should be answered a coins down there by Botiado. Enough for 8 good years. Watch the man semia 1 year case be 1 5 in Pananko and Quankoto. 8 years when you evidence into sama on yinjinado na evidence in you no. E do court 10 years upa. Yaza obezi 8 years. The Stephen Opuni's case, we also see several judicial irregularities. Evidence Stephen Opuni being here, no deja some was strike out by the court. At Asma was also evidence Missy Baba Chechem them, me yedam. Abandon the court ubo Stephen Opuni evidence and ebo ezugui. Nature wa bibia na wo gina de there yenye case bia also but say na ye wo tumi nti yentete wona yemfo nkonkogum then asama worzi na oju baby oben there or the new judge babet na asando in a criminal case so what is that some na say was a judge new judge na ba no esha asam asefofo bra was a judge me new one be no we should start the trials at from the scratch. The government on Anado transferred that judge to Kumasi. Until you can't, all these cases, they had no case there. Or by political witch hunting. There, young phone kogum because they also want the waba go to watch MD Sifu Kokogum and Nonkakao. Until the current Attorney General will not waste taxpayers' resources on some of these issues. But we will not waste taxpayers' resources on this issue.
Yamfa this case penye Collins Dowda ne de no.
Okay.
Yamfa ye example na yenkwenim. Yenyim the money sika it was sunk into the project.
$200 million.
200 million.
Yeah.
It was paid. Now after paying the money, project in one way, housing unit, 200 million. Or a complete project cost of the project. Yeah. Now the money has been paid, and at the end of the day, project in one way there is a change of government. Sikanunsu yehu inkeno, and the money has been paid, whereas the project in one way. Don't you think there also Obi face justice on that, Anna?
Or whether Obi face justice or trial, but the payment certificate. It does pay for there. Those payment certificates were not issued by Collins Dowda. Rather, it was issued by project consultants. It is a way Obi make wrongful payment. No, all your wrongful payment no your project consultant on the not the minister who had nothing to do with the payment of certificates.
All right, so in construction, Nimpano or issue a certificate deba, then after monies will be released. anamebwa
Pardon?
well nyimpa no issue certificate deba on a project then the project in my then a money will be released per the certificate will release.
Exactly.
Now after obiwa all the certificate aba and our ye pay master you pay the money whereas the project in one year who should be blamed?
Was the payment made by Collins Dowda? No, Collins Dowda no Omo Kwanda won't you?
Yes, but the project was under his ministry.
But he wasn't the one
who made that payment.
Who made order for the payment? It was the project consultant. And so be a make payment. Not because if you want to someone charge, the charge was causing financial loss based on the alleged issuance of false certificate. That's the primary facie case. Then somebody issued false certificate to claim money. That's the whole issue. Who issued that false certificate? The project consultant. The project consultant. So how could Collins Dowda be held liable when he wasn't the one who issued those certificates? When he was not the one who issued those certificates? How simply because he was the interim minister. He wasn't even a substantive minister, an interim minister.
Okay.
And because he was just an interim minister, he had no power to issue order for payment. Inti yanka da min semi wa twa oya atu force in the was obi kashe judge knows assembly fie audio na video nwa wo for kwana ombakadam ombotwa kofimba kadam. From the onset but
are you also aware that the minister normal final authorization for payment to be made?
Did he make that final authorization? Because I've said that he was the interim minister. An interim minister had no such powers.
So Wama final authorization.
No.
Who made that final authorization?
I've said
and the money was paid?
One case I have the case there. Or the project
But
consultant.
yes, the project consultant obey issue certificate.
Sure.
But project consultant after issuing the certificate,
certificate of what? Payment.
No. A certificate of oil contract now. Why
No.
In construction,
okay,
in construction, as an overture contractor, Kono, a Jumana issue a certificate. Well, where Jumana?
Officers and work of fraud.
Maybe for the Kastle or the certificate is not about the money paid. No, certificate is not about the money paid. It's about the work done. Atasa. It's government more contracted Juma issue certificate for where Jumana and then based on your certificate you will be paid.
So I can one charges now.
Okay.
The charge on causing financial loss to the state was based on the alleged issuance of false certificates and not payment.
So
no. Let's get that.
Yes, maybe. So based on
alleged issuance of false certificates and not payment. But also as American in Nigeria there. Minister no authorize the payment. Somebody issued false certificate. The false certificate was not issued by Collins Dowda, but rather the project consultant.
Yes, I'm not disputing that fact.
Thank you.
Never patch there in construction, government a contractor based on the certificate at Babano, then issue payment on it. And if there was a false certificate of a project at Obiaya. Who should go further and then inspect the project? This is the certificate to this project. Nimpano ana onye. So if payment go to Makodo, and at the end of the day, Ubundo or a false certificate and order a payment. Let me say who authorized the payment?
Yes, man. Yes, our money share MPP for one answer.
Okay.
In our bear was to be KC affordable housing. Na affordable housing, yes, we see are done.
We are
certificate. Kwana nyo danka almost all sign it there won't check on. Here them in pokono no signing.
Okay.
Asama order one.
All right.
Into here there finance house the housing minister no more kwan na won't ya. I know nyan to what in court in court.
The issuance of false certificates.
The issuance of false certificate. When that's more what you doing.
Okay. So after the false certificate issuance, then there was a payment.
There's nothing wrong with it. They are not raising issue about the 200 million that was paid.
Yeah.
No, that's not the issue.
So the court case in Nigeria, the fake
very good.
certificates
Very,
are
not the
issued.
amount of money.
Yes,
No,
and I mentioned make that based on that fake certificate, then authorization be for the payment.
Well, I cannot tell that.
Okay.
I can't unless we try to find out from the spokesperson of Coronado.
All right. Father Alfred.
Yes, sir. Munya, dama asemi impose. Ke attorney general for na waba. Na obe no cases wa wa oyedo ohwe. Na osina na nyu anje hu da
Obo continue.
obezi case na chi.
Okay.
Zama de Ghana for yes here then yare hwe. Yare hwe won. But you see, mu problem one there. Attorney General meant that wa abaka the reason why I want to say on the case nature view. Because case no yakor on ye bien. Cases no odosun. Cases or one odosun be.
To force any di
the Bank of Ghana governor where you need.
Yes,
No so no hu wom na oye bebre but ni nyina no say on den yadan on kodo. But ankodo obaka the reason why all in yadan all in down ko case because you see say I share this affordable housing issue here. There was so basically 5,000 housing unit anamwa. Now we see no 1,005. Now we chia sikano so. Ankata say. Now brother Kastle there's a consultant. Now consultant na no one woman go ahead. Anko yen ko to kumiska no go tuai anamwa. Oya ministry na where payment and Collins down that the time no. It's I mean you see me say I'm mama kanda Ghana for yaleshe and yate nwana workasa wo hu paying for workasa wo hu because you see ma all kodo no if care is not taken no chede ma obaba na nda wa ba ne bada e wotum da de tum e de ye da menyama no ena za oh de tum ye kan asam no yarenka.
But if the case and there is no merit in it, to answer the country can file
that
for
is the reason why America there Attorney General the reason why.
Okay.
I also on the double case no bio. But that's my say the reason why na ba unable to okay also case there's no merit in that case we hear there you be the chibio then you should say bo come ya then ya come the no there's merit in this case into say na no we here either no we here because here can sika bi akọ ya hwe sika bi anamboa enti says there's no merit oya then sika no yeshere important say enti issues wo but Attorney General no na bana and what the and more one way there was what was sworn in when the 1 week and I got them cases in no on that and on the chill and kata say it's I mean to me no Attorney General akasa and I mean them brem no braso man kwan there opia obede chill opia in the chill onto mbra nti adama medin gangan mesi 2 minutes da hye wansa nti manwa obe Ghana bia na yanze yetim yelehye manwa obe Ghana bia na yehumetiri bada ina na bada but meme yan yadze bi so ezigbo twasa bi za toa ochine bi oba hantin yala ochine bi oba ho yankasa yare yadza yan hu de aban wo aban boko nti yare yadza o de etumi yeden yehwenie I mean Attorney General so the reasons be the there this because cases in your source bia ne style multi intum kada is one case the same cases no or different cases and so do tumba the reasons why case A also on then all in the chibiu. Case B also in the na young there oh in cheche me bay. Chadam not na attorney na some year there. Na young to me then young queen because as in there for the cast for the say attorney general Osha Obobaka the cases in it you know. But ya a corner ya a corner cases in now come asama. And kata say into say also yebedi ano a cover bobo no obason for the cast for a patch a cover attorney general the cases in nature. A call bobo no obaso also son must a call the one.
Call one for international lawyers or switching a car work scars which is
200 million.
International lawyers in car
under 200 million.
International lawyers.
I will be poet. I was one as his own. I questionably adore home. J.O. Because what can say ever poet Muye grow. But
yes, where does he share 8 years? 1, 2, 1.
But Asam Ghana here no would ya Samuno.
yes.
What international lawyer?
One other lawyer say
No. One friend international
lawyer was in the bay. We have
one friend. I don't know if my memory says.
Yeah, just on a light.
One friend international lawyer.
Upper poet was
because case or involve Ghanaians.
Yes.
Case involve Ghanaians. And my member in one case no for one home. Collins Dauda, Kweku Ajiman Mensah, former Minister for Water, Resource Works and Housing, Alhaji Ziblim Yakubu, former Chief Director of the Ministry of Water, Resources, Works and Housing, Novi Tete Angelo, CEO of Ridge Management Solutions Ghana Limited, and Andrew Klokanas, on the Papano Wefrim, only a former executive chairman of Constructora OAS Ghana Limited. So these are the people now we involved on a.
See, when there one was one court, you have Collins Dauda no anye openinum nadi. You see, Oyadanka. I mean, Attorney General Kodo go ahead. Nanka court send one till atata. O send one till there 1 year bonibia. Because yeah, my Attorney General and you say even MPP impo sanaba. What to was an answer as another. Because Attorney General no say now on continue case bia. But when Attorney General no Obakara no, I will still proceed this case.
Okay.
And think so court send one till mum. Enwa nanka wa run safi asam no wan na che yenu there asam na a dead case. Nti I mean that American oye one na asama.
All right.
Two quick issues.
Yes.
Issue. Sir, Yaji Attorney General there about to initiate cases in good faith man Ghana. That we must equally trust the AG anytime he decides to discontinue a case.
Okay.
If you have the faith in AG that he can proceed execute cases in good faith on behalf of Ghana, why are we doubting the same person when he decides to discontinue a case?
So why a sudden haste on this? Only these people, because we have other issues, other cases.
Like
there.
what? Other issues like I don't know.
So are you saying that apart from these people
just give one issue.
We don't have any issue.
These are people pursued to be NDC. So just give one more issue that MPP was pursuing, for which they couldn't bring the issue to conclusion. NDC by
Okay, so the case under MPP was pursuing Nkutine, you were working on it.
That is the issue. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And two, is Attorney General required by law to explain his unwillingness to pursue a case? The AG in baby and shani there so is Assam. No there Assam no onya kondo wombiam another Assam no yinjina da. Although my explanation as to why he's discontinuing the case, he can quote that article for us.
Okay.
He can quote that the law does not require the AG to justify withdrawal of a case. Quote from the line to constitute for me. Again, my brother. On what basis? Oman yezobi cage them bro kwano drains asama. Oman baka de ma home sanwe fio. Eba kwanda no oman obabanda no oman baka de asanya music My home is somewhere. One, inability to prove the case. So money na do. Oba cheda asemi ABC osi ampa. O manu twene safiu. Ye be said that 8 years. 8 years I wouldn't go for the court. Even evidence in the MP before to cut down court man nesasun judges nantum amfa dem kofi na kwenkogu. After 8 years, you reset Ghana, you shall in so was sent, you wash him a Ghana when you're going in Solomon, you think the can't get the means and you're one evidence or no. When the evidence fails to meet the threshold to prove the case, you wash off your hands. When evidence or the KJ court in now, on to try down pa, cause that there is for. At two first knows for 8 years on two. So you wash off your hands. And then the third reason, why a third reason will be that unreliable evidence. Japan now can as a main evidence in a two forcing case. Oh no, mama, over to go mam now yet today. On in Jajibi, Kashaw, war coaching as one that Macau court. So they have unreliable evidence.
Okay.
The evidence they claim they had failed to meet the threshold. And they could not prove the case. 8 good years, they couldn't prove any of these cases. And you want John Mahama, who's determined to bring respite, who's determined to pay workers good salary, to waste his time on such cases? No. But have you forgotten NPP can take this case to court?
All right.
You can take it. If you think you still have, you can take it to court.
So, okay. All right. So the suit number. Suit number. Also, the Republic versus Collins Dauda, Kweku Ajiman Mensa, Alhaji Ziblim Yakubu, Andrew Clocandas, disease Novi Tete Angelo. So this is Republic against and then Noli Prosequi, dated 7th of February 2025, and our filing. Now, also take notice that the state intend that the proceedings against accused persons as Mabu Bodini in the above mentioned case shall not continue. Dated at the Attorney General's Chamber, Accra, 7th day of February 2025. Now, also, notice of withdrawal of all offences and other charges against the first, second, and fifth accused persons under section 59(1) and 59(2) B, II, and 59(5) of Act 30 of the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960. Please take notice that at the next hearing of this suit, the prosecutor, on the instructions of the Honorable Attorney General, hereby withdraws all offences and or charges against Ernest Thompson, John Hagan Mensah, and Peter Hayubo under Section 59, that is Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 30, dated. So, per the suitor, what do you want any explanation there, but will withdraw or your cases no. So this is the suitor Markanumu Asam Mediacho 0244 408 046 0244 408 354. Wasubuchim na Bimbi na easy in common 0244 408 046 0244 408 354. Good evening.
Good evening. Mawajo, I promise you that.
Yamiadum Kwefuwa Mechanics. Into
the member ya woman Ghana yensi ye tine kuruma ha ma obinum wa for man of the mistakes wa baka ma da men kwafo nyina o de hunu ekwekwe gina kwota na ye bi sede ndi se fonko tin na wonyi ma mambre na atoni genu abai wontum na wanhwe nka tie ni mu ye na ajaji se fo a wotina asam no do ni wonyi mo no poti na da men kwafo ajaji sin na wan ba asam no guna atoni genu gina itumodo da asam no hu nyana wa bo egudi no kwasam ne woyamim wa magana fulushin wa magana fuluka de NDC as a political party that were kind of carrying agents and NDC democracy now or no control do buying this Ghana Fumama Wumbu, Nine Yankodo, na 18 na Kamian Tunchen, 9 years, na 2028 ni Patriotic Party Yababa Bim na dem ko funu ye naked na Branham.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. One of
Mrs. Thomas Sam, because people in
all right, thank you, Miminteo.
You're recruitment. If a President John Dramani Mahama, Ozabade, one vote could be another. And you know, 2017, 2016. Toko's new stadium. Recruitment are Obeno one. Yankana Kamuti. Ye be very, you chade. You can go to stadium. If you want your Central Bank. You know, you Kabrama Yako medical snippet. Na letter by Nansam one more. Was the car fee? Was the office? Was the baby show? Was the 2 wives in office? Was the envelope with the baby? Yet, what was in your finalist? The Miami Yako. What's the young coffee? No, what's on your text message? I thought yet no woman to turn up and I'm willing to fight for one uncle simple.
Echo recruitment.
Recruitment.
Oh, okay.
You know, more UCC 2016. Young baby first. Who's could be some location? Now, we don't give me Kediaro and make out with the people and I have maybe some request.
Okay.
You UCC students for 2. Who will come in my request? What's our NPP, a coordinator or to see for limits and what is there? Come on, sacking them maybe I am in the dead, the man old video, okay, or Nam so the baby not say, the only young who is dead, the Yellow, I can be interested to one. What's it or Hobby Brubino? Into the mass media, sir, you know, Miss Rowan, woman, I will tell my own.
Okay, so I call training new I can come with you know what's our one.
Medical.
Or medical. Oh, okay. Into one co process in Mukra.
Yako, all the body set, Yako, Stadium, Yako, okay. The last day, the young was in the you know, them to the so what the question 2 wives in office, because stadium. You know, catch and there. Why can catch around 5 o'clock, catch and the young cop, and what can you say message?
May I say,
young could be missing the
all right. May I say, Papa. Good evening.
Good evening, yes, man.
Chairman. Alaji.
No.
Alaji.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, man. Foreign aid is trap way to man. Many trap ya gini papa. Yang ku puni share papa months in the year since. On them day, papa we who there Africa ya babur. Is you in terms of sikasamum. Penny bia ka de sika no eduma na ne wo wi sika position ho. Ehia yi to gold, diamond, bauxite, timber. Bibia ye tuno, ehia ya hwetire hin. Na America o ne tax, o da ba de yen fon kwaye HIV eyi. Na yi ye sika ye de ma, si okoro o de 1.2 billion, 1.7 billion. So what is that? It's about plan we eduma. Young to me for years, you can't find here. Want to say they be a budget. This is a chance foreign aid. I didn't say. You have seen every time I had 68 years. Also, yes, a year behind. In American government, yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, sir, was so baby. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Apo,
Yamiadu, Papa, Pocha, also.
Pocha, Lord, in Bantuman.
All right, Lord, into you.
But that's a papa. Yes, man. Sometimes you know, people always a topic there. You don't want to we expose one. We expose one big ankasa because for the good 8 years, I'm as in 2 years with them cases not turning down on the court. No, Nankasa does some no court. No, the MPP they are not serious. As some in Subial engine, for Subial in home, and any is supposed to remain business in Majuma Babaye. As soon as they there's a lot of promises. Yes, I'm a Ghana for the Yabayama one. And so we are not going to waste our time on this issues in Subian Genome for Subian. We will waste our time on that issues. That's why also there, I told you also there. Oh, yeah, you don't follow BM. Don't follow issue in BM. And so I want to tell people before when I say, yeah, we were evidence we were friend in same on what can about to be one so what from where because I am young waste your time because I want to say people for Nankasa and why you never be Ghana for over there with the Ghana bull. I want you to take one on.
All right.
We are going to take them on. They should get ready for us. Aye, but that's it.
Master, that's allowed. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm a baby.
Kwamna. Mi cheche wana watu na wenyi na.
Ya jodo.
Mi chiam papa Mr. Kukubo. Mi chiam no baby owo bia mi chiam. Ya mema na ahwazan na nkwa.
Aba dum radio no mo.
Me fi humpo. Eyi Kwamna. Recruitment here when a stadium 2016. Ena my brother kwaka ho. Brother odi me chiri 4. Oka ho. Wo be se fi brother lo, brother all kan wa asemi. Na bibia agufie sisi ala menyu kesi onam da manzu no hunti enyima otna bicycle do oye bi oye mobile money oye ss ni the auto business zekor na auto police so ezekor ono no way recruitment no stadium one otna bicycle do olukwe be oye ni mobile money kala time dama semia hunti na me bredo odinya accident men da na akaniti sisi ala ni bibia agufie na would always see the munku kwa menuku obo baba wa wo tuma wo hu wo fa na atani jana na asem no onye abenti eyi no onye opunu no na asem ona me peda makakakra enfi porpola awotchi wechu opunu no onye Saglame housing project inu ho asam wechu ha besinde na the man say mala wo fa de benyo do no bi kita mi nsem park wa chala mama hu wa man tepe me de no ho wo fa de bibia baba we improve evidence we fashi amachira de ada asem wol kan insujinum yini wo she up to date e she pal awotwe wa bo ho kaw da mi sika na mpo de wo hwehwem se bia no kuda aban MPP wa woje because if onye insubia la nyina me de o chere de nyimpo no o fa de mi sika opportunity aba na me we send form ele we bi sa koko ekuafo ne de o no kwala de what the fertilizers was the block wana ampala so koko ekuafo no sinyo fertilizer was no free opportunity chairman one it's a evidence not sure there opportunity the me you for fertilizer or the question need them chairman ebusi afo
aba be nyodo me dan say
enti da me ka say yes I saw you only thing that me your friend and attorney general for your day o hwe nsudi ala nnim enti all die be die if you can tell baby
me that say all die be die you me that say good evening Kweku
yes I was
Kweku me too
yeah me that say I don't know for police for the first of the day but MPP no fair no what say man wa for kwamfado for the moko fan je no go for our second na so ya so ya ba an so ri we do no go ga e bi si it's a dey na ama ko e kere so ya to ato you know friend what do you call it? Minister, friend, what minister for Ato Force in see. In fact, the judge is saying, why you can then call, why you could there. And you can't see what to quote go on to go and go this day. MPP, that who what about today? What you do, there, you make cool. Inu kuku bia tun ka yi na do wa court o I do for life
all right
my me any you don't get my to about that I'm not you make case I do you know I got
me that say good evening
good evening
yes sir but you want me sakani
but you from baba because of UCC
all right baba me too
yo kakra ma bibi chema dwun kakra ye politics yan fan tunchen ye talk as a citizen
okay
a party's changer the incident of dama recruitment recruitment is there any legal be or supporter there ma NDC MPP for here NDC for abaye all kokodemi or by law and there and legal be able to me take the no no because mami mean there what to be we are December January 7th, 1 year swearing in the president or home on in charge of everything.
Yeah.
After January 7th, swearing in the president in the time of office was
yeah.
MPP time ABC. NDC time ABC, MPP by what by you want to see. It's a high time. Those people that they are employed, they are all Ghanaians. One people Burkina Faso, one fit Togo. They are all Ghanaians. They are all MPP, NDC, CPP. So what is the controversy about this thing? They should allow them to work because they are all Ghanaians. So are you getting me?
All right.
And many new CBC there was a BEC registration was one to I inquire.
Minty anything of such inti.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Maso Medasi. Good evening. Mami. Hey, enjoyment mood in the woman I want the aye, me too.
Kastle FM 90.3.
Oh, all right. Cause
Kastle FM. Hey, I know for better for worse, so Kastle FM. From bomb.
all right. All right. Okay. May I say? Yeah, good evening.
Even
Yes, sir.
but you're from the coconut.
All right, Enoch, Elmina, me too.
I'm sure enlistment, late enlistment, I've been MPP way. Share a political gimmick in a way, in the sense that our Abanam will be fair, in 2-man draw budget. Later, or crap on our every budget for parliament. In Timpedan, can maybe say that Abba financial clearance when you are to me at that moment, 1 year the recruitment now later on as who will read the budget in parliament. And I tell one person or more probably to the NDC Abanaba or better one. More critical example 2016, Mahamad, dramatic market who are also what is happening now in the market year show or China show. What they were purported to do it. And yet they was done away into giving so only the Ashadari, the other ones who are to buy what beautiful. Who the 2016 where the same recruitment no very well. What's the mama for uncle for? One put a woman of financial clearance and for outpost one. But there wasn't any financial clearance. But yet still,
oh, but so wama financial clearance I want to move forward.
There's nothing so my parents are not report together financial clearance. I didn't be that
because financial clearance and quite based on the car. Definitely there was a financial clearance.
Financial impediment said the budget and we didn't when ya posting your capture them for the recruitment no way na.
Okay.
If you don't capture my budget reading me say my new posting there what can be there for the beer. There is a recruitment what we just schedule for the beer or find that
but we read the budget when Tracy can to the recruitment you the miske ya to ya the miske ya to.
But the man who go under certain friends administration, isn't it?
Yes, into say finance ministry also am a clearance of this amount of money or the recruitment and what the ID into on any asemo ana papa.
Okay.
All right, me that's it.
All
right. Obisum Rebi me that's it. Good evening. Yes sir. Richard Peja Winzi mam kakra ai.
Yo. Popocho
Rich, still over voice in which for one ben wo phone.
Munya no me ndi for ya asem na ya wunchem yem. Insane nim there. Asem bi wo court ya wutum delay lawyers wutum delay asem no. Instead bibi dem na senya akese yesterday ye pay ya corruption wa. I think no one twema wo fa no court one year ansana. Na attorney general won bend and what who indicate naked. Who indicate that so na wa be so go business MP puchu wonyala. E di wuja wonyala. Now the same time recruitment na wale kana what say an MP will recruit MP fonkuti. When we recruit one who want kete MP fonkuti will recruit one. E yendi sifu o kan na tia. Intini mo hindi na baka wasak one. Nti dambe we na was for basak one hwe ni papa na kana fi yes one.
Let us say. Last caller, good evening. Efo Minteo, last caller.
For better for worse, so Kastle FM for bomb.
Can say or report in the one hand over my attorney general into on no so by investigation into it. And oba high no oba be oba Cape Coast no kada ma sabno.
Kastle FM 90.3.
Okay. Efo me na say. All right. Okay. But that's it. And my main kind of this letter, it was released on Wednesday, February 8, 2017. Also, withdrawal of recent staff recruitment for the National Service Scheme. The management of the National Service Scheme has, on the advice of the Minister of Education, withdrawn the National Service staff recruitment, which was done in December 2016 with immediate effect. The decision has been informed by a thorough consideration of violation of due process prior to the recruitment. This include petition to the Public Services Commission against the recruitment process, upon which the public PSC in a letter dated 16th November 2016 advised the former acting executive director to halt the recruitment process until the matter was properly resolved. And this was, however, ignored, and appointment letters were issued to some persons on 15th December 2016. Management therefore wishes to advise persons affected by this decision to look forward to a new opportunity to have the staff recruitment properly carried out. Signed, Mustafa Yusuf, Acting Executive Director, NSS. All right. That is Ghana for you. Mr. Host, how can outgoing government make recruitment while leaving office? This is incredible. They all have to be sacked so that good measures can be taken. Let the NPP man understand that we, the NDC members, need to be served first before NPP members. Because we, the NPP members, voted for JDM, not NPP members. NPP will stay in opposition forever. Dorcas in Kamfa. Hey, Dorcas. Aisha Khalifa, the taxi driver. How can someone under training be issued with appointment letter? Training anyway. So how can you be issued with appointment letter? Mr. Host, can the NPP admit that upon the way they govern this country, they have damaged this country to extent that our economy is crying? The NPP is thinking that we should overlook all misused monies and resources. Ora will grip all of them and collect all the monies. Okay, so collect Nelikana. Actually correct. All right. Mamin Khan, last message from here now. Young call in. Good afternoon, Mrs. Suman. I'm Enoch doing the listening from Elmina. Please, I would like to ask the MPP rep that for the past 7 years, what were they doing all this while on such cases? If truly there is a criminality on such cases, they would have completed within 4 years in governance. They have no case. It was just a political gimmick. My greetings to Honorable Samuel Mills and incoming MCE Zagun. And this one also says, NPP government has wasted 8 years for these cases and yet to find a possible reason against Atuforsen and co. If NPP government has something to do, they should have done it in the 8 years and not now. To be frank, I had interest in those cases, especially Dr. Opuni Nanso Nedin. Good afternoon, Mr. Host. The issue of governments sacking employees in this nature is not the first time. I was expecting you, the host, to educate us properly by calling professionals like labor experts and lawyers. Does 7 December to 6th January warrant part of Nana Addo's government? The NDC man in your studio is also corrupt because the payer and receiver of the bribe are all corrupt. And if that is the reason why NDC are sacking them, then it is wrong. NPP NDC boys are all Ghanaians. How many of the appointments in Ghana are not politically motivated? And for within number, may I say, the NDC is setting up a bad precedent, and I can tell you that when power changes and NPP officials are being prosecuted, the new Attorney General will also do same. The Sagleme Housing Project case was filed in court in year 2021, so it is not 8 years trial in court. Some. Ankacho, may I say that one so as always, Abba. Hey, teacher.
National Service one there again. Do petition the commission.
Okay.
Already no we petition because on wo there enye bibia here den wan koye asat November.
All right.
Nkata say it's different from this one. Now we call us nya we friend no bebre na we can training what call sud us walk park anambo na what sakon no walk park na what sakon anu ye different from el kenyu he no walk park na ewie mo wa afon one wa qualify mo wa afon one training na what good training this year we won training I mean the next month ampo do ka where then what ba
and the training ewie you send one more appointment letter once you are still under training.
Oh, and I'm sure there
I don't get it still.
And I'm sure there
Shrem.
Eja kwamini.
Yes, teacher.
Sir, 1 man appointment letter. 1 man appointment letter. On your Ghana yana.
Or your Ghana.
And now, me jeans there. What hand pick and what pick one that one training. We follow due process.
Okay.
one certificate wɔhwɛ wɔ body checks wɔkorɔ medicals ne nyinaa na wɔde yɛ den wɔde hwɛ na wɔde yɛ den wɔde fɔn wɔn. That's the reason America that if say obi ne papers nyɛ wɔm another bibi nyɛ ɛna still wɔde na ahyɛ mu a ano mbram no ano unqualified ano wɔtum wɔyi ne fim. But here is the case, so we follow process no. Nkata say na wa kodu baby oti dem a aye den na eba si elesako no won kufie. Nti unemployment na work kan wo position no wo preach no. Sisi na obe den na unemployment no. Because sisi em obefie a wo san wa baka unemployment association no.
All right.
Wa san ye shoot akoso.
Teacher be that say. Hey.
Yes, man.
Father Kasford, young
I'm for one free Kasidu. Na mincha my political godmother, Professor Nanama Bankruche.
Debe no over town.
This is our Chief Executive
Yes, I know, EPA.
Environmental Protection Authority. That's why Anamano Rutu or so Rutu or Galam said that or the Bonsu Yensu Hubana, your best son Quatintina Mano. Meze Baba, I remember I can say EPA as it. What's over But Mamma can ask him some door. Some door in there. Them recruitment here, Nanadu ye. One knows one call one district, one factory, one village, one dam, national cathedral. Yan Sakon. And people want to hang that. Want to hang that. And Apple. John Mama ban Bob process recruitment. You ever found Crawford. Into them coffee now. I quench over there or by apply.
All right.
Na ya for. But Attorney General, them case here what to agree. Yes, man. Yes, the young was in Bopakwa Akasha Ora. She Ora case will be 2,417 painting. No more 36. Say yes, the Amandi now was in case our bra Yensika 20.94 billion dollars.
Father Yendru,
yes, lawyer Bosumi Chaneko.
Okay.
Lawyer we case the case just 36 so the year. Oba Blosika 20.49 billion. Another
36 in here.
Another case at force in the case 8 years. People one case aga.
Better say. Father Kasford, better say. Raminam production team are headed by Mr. Bernard Ogo. Yanabu Afonso, Betway, Ridge Royal Hotel, and Afi High Sense, and also in Asna Yazibro. But I make cow there, waka just 2 days pay. Yami Adomochna, a closing date. Chirawodo for our messages, write a brief love message from our Oye Wodofo, O year, and our fiancé. For 0244743143. Uti and Kwakwa, you'll be picked. You have more a special gift in Afi, a ticket to Ridge Royal Hotel. Kastle 90.3 FM, blending tradition with style. Black was trained YouTube L Facebook on ye Alfred. Master Mizin is the Kwamene Shuma. Antimen Kebewa and Kwanoma, a hand of new besi. Yami Aduma, your best in Asia, Kede Nimpa Baby, now I'm beginning. Bye bye.